Click her button.
I know. Click the button. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Centralist. Mike and I were talking about click the button. And if you're not in the queue, you don't know what the conversation's actually about. But I hope y'all all have a great evening, great morning, great afternoon. I know it's kind of late out on the East Coast, and what is it, 10 p.m. out there? But Mike, it's 9 here. It's not, of course, it's only 7 out there on the West Coast. They're just getting ready. They're having a few cocktails, tuning into the network, and saying, "What are these crazy bastards going to talk about tonight?" Which all right, guys, we are officially 10 days from one of the most important elections in the history of the United States. Whatever you believe, whatever the side you're on, this is one of the more important elections. We've had important elections under Obama, under Trump, and now under Biden. And we will talk about that. We'll also talk about Obama's out there speaking. Yeah. Oh, wait. Now, here he might buy an NBA team. What the hell is going on with Obama?
Got that money.
I know, man. NBA teams ain't cheap. Let's be honest. Where's he getting his money from? What's he got? A couple $100 million? Where do you make that at? Netflix paid him all that money, I guess.
They fleeced Netflix.
They fleeced America. Yeah, I know. They fleeced somebody.
They fleeced Netflix. They got.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we get started, if y'all look behind me, we're going to be giving some books away later tonight. We're going to be giving some audio books and books away. It's called Fear.
And a lightsaber
right behind me. Yes, we are giving a lightsaber away too tonight because it is news on the flip side. We gave away the other night. We gave away I was on with Trish. We gave away Kylo Ren's lightsaber. The evil guy in the new Star Wars. So that was a cool one to give away. That damn thing retailed for $765. The one we're giving away Rays on one of the news. Not news on flip side. One of the Outer Realms this week. We're going to be giving one away on there. That's Ray from the new Star Wars, the heroine in this new Star Wars. So we're giving away one tonight. I think, I'm not sure. I got to look and see. It's either Obi-Wan Kenobi's or now I forgot his name. Oh, I got to go look up his name. He's one of the few with a purple lightsaber. But anyway, we'll get into
Samuel Jackson, man. That dude.
Yeah, that's who it is. The black. I can't remember his name is Star Wars. Who the character he played?
His name is what was it? Biggest Dickus.
No, I don't think that's what it is. But
no, that's what it was. The Jedi Knight, Biggest Dickus.
Yeah, Biggest Dickus is what it is. But anyway,
he wanted the big purple one.
Biggest Dickus is what it is. But anyway,
very large purple lightsaber he's got.
Guys, y'all should go catch the show I did with Trish Moe on Monday. We had a lot of fun. We talked about a lot of topics. We were going to do it again on Wednesday, but I had to work late. We're getting close to the holidays, so a lot of our customers are antsy to get their stuff done before the holidays. So we're really close now. We're only 3 days from Halloween. I don't know what all you freaks are going to be doing for Halloween. I thought about going down to the quarter, but I think I might stay up on the coast. Yes, and play Halloween up here. I'll be carving some pumpkin Sunday night on All Hallows Eve. Ooh.
You better hide, man. I think it's going to be mayhem, dude. I think, what, that movie, The Purge, I think people are going to do that on Halloween. I don't know. It's so, maybe not where you are, on your street, in your neighborhood, or where you are, but I'm saying like New York or Chicago and places like that. I know people staying in who are fearful and going out, all over, even out on Long Island. All over the place. Upstate, upstate New York, cornfields and whatever, you don't really have people running amok because there aren't that many people to run amok. And they can be rounded up very easily. You got a lot of aggressive cops out there. They don't they're like in the city or anything. They know what I mean? Like they'll swarm on you upstate New York. They're bored.
Because they're not part of the what's his name's regime down there in New York City now. I can't even remember the new mayor's name yet.
Adams, they had to hire private security now to work the subway because things are so bad. Private security.
I hear you may be getting a Republican governor.
You know something? He did well in the debates. It was Hochul who when he was going off about people are in danger, you got to lock criminals up, and she's like, why is this so important to you? Like her whole cavalier attitude towards locking people up. But you know what? Think about it, man. The crimes don't happen in her neighborhood. They don't happen in front of her.
No, they don't happen. That's why they don't worry about it.
She's very removed, very detached. She said she doesn't watch the news. She's not aware. Well, the only thing that she's aware of is what they spoon feed her, and she's also not very. She's not brilliant, put it that way. She rode Cuomo's coattails. She was never elected to that position. I mean, and Zeldin, he had people shoot outside of his house. You know, his teen daughters at home. You know, he doesn't even live in a terrible neighborhood on Long Island, but yet that's how much violence there is going on in the streets.
There's
And
a
I
lot,
send
and
you
there's
articles once in a while about
yeah, I
people
know
being released right away.
there's been a lot of stuff going on. You know, I got some friends up in Portland. Matter of fact, I was talking to two of them this week, and both of them are basically alluding to the same thing, that it has become a shithole. It's not even worth investing into property up there anymore.
Mm.
It's a shame, because Portland's a beautiful city. It's a great city, just like Seattle is, but they have become shitholes. Liberals just, I don't know what this thing is on crime. Okay, I understand the jails are too full, and there are a lot of people in jail that don't need to be there, especially like potheads and stuff like that. There's a lot of minor offenders that are doing 3 and 4 and 5 years that really should be in some kind of counseling, not in jail. I understand those, but there's a lot of people who need to be in jail. I mean, there are murderers out there. There are kidnappers out there. There are people who cut your throat just for looking at them. Those people need to be in jail. There's no rehab for them immediately, and there may never be any rehab for them, but there's none immediately. So they got to go somewhere. You can't put them in a loony bin, because they'll just escape and go kill somebody.
Let me ask you this. Now, Nancy Pelosi's husband, Paul, got attacked by a guy who broke in last night, this morning, 2:30 in the morning, with a hammer. I guess when the police showed up, they both had hammers, and it's undetermined on the beginnings of it. It sounds very fishy and very weird. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. The whole thing sounds weird, but now, you know, the guy's from Canada. He's been here 20 years. You know, he himself, he's hippie type, you know, no employment, makes hemp, lives in a shed, that type of thing, you know. So, and then they said recently he got very extreme with his views of conspiracies. A typical nutter, right? Typical nut. The nuts you have in the streets of the city, whether it's there, San Fran, or it's in L.A., or if it's in Chicago, New York, or whatever, it doesn't matter. You know, you're gonna have these people running around. He breaks in, assaults Paul Pelosi. The guy's running around looking for Nancy. Then he tried tying up Paul Pelosi, you know. And then, but the thing is, are they going to let him loose, Joe? Are they going to look the other way because they have no cash bail, you know, there in California, just like New York, you know? So are
So,
they going
I mean, is just assault, or is this attempted murder? What is this guy
they
being
charged
charged
now?
with?
See now, you know what's interesting? They charged him with the gamut of everything they could. They threw everything at him, including a kitchen sink, abusing an elder, and like adult abuse, that type of thing, attempted murder, yeah. But if you know prosecutors, they don't do that. They put in the charge to keep them in, to investigate further and see what's going on. Then they add charges later, and they kind of lift. They add the charges when they know what they can get. So, and any prosecutor there, but this is a Democrat though, isn't it? Democratic area. Pelosi runs that place, you know. So I think they're going to railroad the guy and just, you know, put him in the place where he belongs, but not because of justice, but because of political affiliation. You know, because Paul Pelosi's Nancy Pelosi's husband. You know, but you know what the ugly side is? The gleefulness people feel about this, the laughing, and even I played the evil devil game. I said it's the first time in Paul Pelosi's life he got hammered without getting drunk. You know what I mean? So I'm sorry for that. But it's a shame that we have to feel like this. It's a shame that we have to look at these people, and now here's the crime coming to them. You know, nobody is safe in zombie land. And this proves it, man. And then you know, the neighbors said when Nancy Pelosi's around, there's tons of security. You know, you got Secret Service running amok, and they're all around and whatever. Doubtful the guy could have even gotten it. When they leave town, Paul Pelosi there by himself. He's all by himself, you know. And of course, he made headlines recently with his DWI arrest, smashing his Porsche and all that, and he's got that going on. But I'm wondering if there's a lot more to this. It just feels like there's a lot more. And the guy who broke in is like this sexually weird dude, and you know, he does these naked things, naked, not just naked protests, but like naked things and whatever. And the more I looked into his background, the more he seemed just like some kind of you know, what do they call them? Joe, what do they call them? Johns or
John's, how deep?
John's the guy that gets the hooker. What are they called? The like an escort. We'll say like an escort or something. I don't want to say because we don't know, but I'm saying the evidence, it looks very iffy and weird, and I don't know. So we shall see if we ever know the truth. Stuff like this.
Well, I just, if he broke in and hammered the guy, I mean, there's got to be some reason for it. I mean, what was it? Don't like Paul Pelosi? Did Paul like do something to the guy? Did Nancy do
Where did
something?
they where
I
did they
mean,
get so many hammers from? Just like that.
I just, well, that doesn't make any sense. Paul Pelosi underwent surgery for a skull fracture. Spokesman for the House Speaker said he managed to call 9/11 and start off the anyway. So he saved himself, is what this article is saying.
Like with me, I have tools. I have a hammer. We have the one in my car, and there's one like in a box of tools or whatever. You know what I mean? But I can't just run to it in 3 seconds and grab it. That's more like a katana sword, or the other stuff I have hanging around. that's like next to the bed. Where do they get these hammers from? They were hammering each other, and I guess when the cops got there, the guy got the hammer away from Paul Pelosi, and then he went to town on him until the cops got in. But Paul Pelosi apparently was in surgery, and he's got all kinds of issues. He's an old man. Can't hammer an old man and expect nothing to happen. But
Well, wait, this guy was 42 that attacked him. He wasn't exactly a
yeah,
youngster himself.
no,
Uh,
it's very weird.
he was.
It's a big house they have.
It's definitely a strange.
They have a huge mansion. They know a few of them, but that's their main. That's their
Said he's
main
got a lot of
compound.
conspiracy theories on his website about COVID and January 6th and all kind of other stuff. So, but that's saying they're not calling him a Trumpster, that's for sure.
If he was a MAGA guy, they would be blasting that.
Oh yeah, they'd already be blasting it.
Oh yeah, that would have been like 3 seconds later.
This must just be a liberal went crazy or something.
That's what it seems like. It seems like because a lot of these liberals feel betrayed, and the ones who are extreme, they feel betrayed because when the Democrats came in, they're doing nothing what the extremists wanted them to do, and the ones who aren't extreme feel betrayed by the liberal left. Look at, let me throw Kanye in there, right? Kanye West or Ye.
We love you, Kanye, baby. Give me your money.
This guy goes out and makes anti-Semitic comments. I watched what he said because I don't listen to he said this and this is how I watched what he said. He know what he said? He said it like Jews control everything. They control Hollywood, the music business. And if you say anything negative about them, they will cancel you and destroy your life. And that's what's going on with him. They're canceling him and destroying his life.
So why don't he bring up the squad?
That's what I said on my show last night. I was like, you got Representative Omar, you got Tlaib. These people.
Jesus, they're so anti-Jew. It's not even funny. So that's what he should do. Kanye should just go on TV in the morning and say, okay, well, you can't. Why are you doing business with? Why are you representing? Why are you backing these? Why are you giving money to these people that anti-Semitic? And why aren't they being? Why aren't they being thrown out of Congress? Why is the news jumping on me and not on them? I mean, you've got to point that kind of stuff out now, because if you don't, the news keeps doing it. If you point it out, they'll stop and they'll move on to something else. But if you don't, they'll just keep hammering you, because that's what they do now. I mean, that's
when he came out with his MAGA hat, that was the kiss of death. And these Democrats, they don't care how messed up you are. You could be a pedophile. You could be a promoter of pedophilia. You can be the worst, most disgusting, horrible person in the world. But if you go outside the party, they will put you out there on the pit and fry you right there. So, and this is what's going on with him. He already lost over $1 billion. And they're pulling out all these different, all of his endorsements are going to the wayside. I don't even know how that can happen with contracts. You sign a certain contract just because the guy says something. But wow, and it wasn't like he didn't do a rant that he wanted to kill Jews or something. It wasn't like threats of violence. It was how he felt about a religion, and that's it, right? I mean, but you can't express yourself. Hey, Jay,
what's happening?
We're talking about Kanye getting canceled by Jewish people.
And why the squad? Well, we're trying to figure out why Kanye's in so much trouble for saying less than what the squad has said.
Well, look at Mel Gibson.
I mean, they've been pretty nasty about Jews, and I'm trying to figure out why they're not in trouble. Again, why do Jews back Democrats when, first off, almost every Democrat I know hates a Jew? I mean, I don't get it. I talk to my Jewish friends about this all the time. They're like, "Well, Joe, the other party's worse." I said, "No, not really. I don't." And then they're not hating you. I mean, they're the ones that gave you your damn capital back. I'm confused. I said, what's the problem here?
Over 20 years ago, Mel Gibson got pulled over while he was drunk driving, and then he got out to the cop and spouted off all this anti-Jew stuff, how Jews are evil, they control things, and whatever. Him and his father. His father is exactly the same way, you know. But so apples don't fall far from the tree in that case. Hollywood turned their back on him for like 20 years. He just recently came back into favor, just recently, and still he's on. You can feel it that he's on the outskirts. He's still out there, you know.
Yeah, most of Hollywood is controlled by really rich Jewish men. I mean,
and women. Can't forget about them.
Yeah, women too.
But is there anything sexier on this planet than those Israeli female, like military? You know what I mean? Like,
oh my god!
I know you've seen them.
Man.
God,
oh my
man.
god!
Hey,
yes,
dude,
there are sexier things.
Gal Gadot's pretty hot, and almost every Israeli has to spend 2 years in their military, so they're all
Well, that should be an American thing to be citizens of the country.
You look at some of these Ukrainian ladies. The Ukrainian ladies are smoking,
and they looking for husbands, man.
I don't know what
they're looking for husbands.
You're looking at. I see the real ones that are coming over the border. I'm like, oh my god, no. My family is like Slavic, so we can't do that, man. Russians are our cousin, you know. In fact, Putin's Slavic.
Russians are cousins, man.
So
wait. Yeah, let's.
Not like you're marrying your sister. It's his cousin.
I'm a German, Italian, and Slavic, man. So how's that?
So
with a little bit of Irish, and a little bit of Welsh.
Let's segue over to the Emperor Putin and Xi Jinping, because this is the world's shithole right now. So you got Putin over here. First, he got on TV the other day and said, "I ain't saying I wasn't going to nuke anybody." Putin, come on, dude. You ever heard of we record shit these days? You know, I was going to say microfilm or tape. We just use digital now.
We're running nuclear drills as we speak.
I mean, billions of people heard you. You can't even lie.
Kim Jong-un's about to explode a nuclear warhead. He's about to go do that.
So now wait now. So Biden told him no more shooting. We're going to have to do something about it. I was like, well, wait a minute now, Mr. Biden. You go there and jump on North Korea. That's going to give Xi Jinping the right to jump on Taiwan. But for some reason, so they took the former president of the Communist Party out of the Chinese party.
Oh, yeah, they escorted his ass right out the door, man.
So now there was a bunch of stuff came out about how far in debt China actually is now. China is basically, money is worthless. And they're in deep shit. So they started going through what the problem was. And, of course, now you've got all of Europe analyzing Xi Jinping, which, unfortunately for Xi Jinping, a lot of Chinese can see European news. Thanks to other ways of watching TV.
They listen to UPRN, thank God.
They can listen to us too. But I mean, the point is I don't think Xi wants to get into a war. I don't think he's looking to invade Taiwan.
He can't afford it.
He can't afford it. And if the USM slaps serious sanction on him, he's in deep trouble. And he don't have the nukes to threaten us.
So bad. I had this jacket when I was a kid in high school. It's an A2 flight jacket that was used in World War II. And it's a really cool jacket. And I want to get a new one because this one's a size 38. I'm now a size 44. If I were to put it on, it's like a fat guy in a little coat. I'll rip it in half.
Don't throw it out, man.
It's not throwing it out. I'm saving it. But to get the same brand, it's a shot military jacket. It's made in New York, up there by you, Michael. They're $950 in the United States, made out of leather. That same jacket made by a Chinese tailor, $8.99. That's how bad they're coming. We sell that same jacket in leather here, almost $1,000. They sell the exact same style from China. It'd take probably a month to get here, and it's that fake leather stuff for under $10. That's give me a
new bomber's jacket. $10 too. I had a really nice bomber's jacket, but it needs a zipper or something, man. I miss it.
Take it to a Chinese laundry. I guarantee you they'll charge you $50 to clean it, and they'll put a new zipper in it.
It's probably too old to clean. Yeah, it's been around for a while now. But
my jacket's from World War II. I mean, it went
this one is
World War II and made it back to the States.
This was a hand me down.
Does it have patches on it, man? Does it have like identifiable?
No, this one does. My other one does, but this one don't. But this one's
worth a lot of money. I mean, like thousands sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now I've got all of NASA's Mercury, Gemini, Apollo patches from the original patches. They were doing these little sets they used to do back in the day, and one of our customers had them and gave it to me. I was like, well, that's cool. And
Only
last
patch
I
I
checked,
have
it
is
was worth about $3,000.
I have an AC/DC high voltage patch that I bought in 1979 from my local
But
record store. How's that?
no, no. Getting back to Uncle Xi Jinping. Um,
Yeah.
so for him, this is going to be this. He's in trouble. Communist, 'cause he was supposed to be the next decade, without question, was going to be him.
Well, they have a
He
lot of
was going to
problems.
run everything.
They
So
have a
it's
lot of
not
problems.
looking, yeah. So it's not looking like he's as solid as he used to be.
Do,
Um,
do you
so
want to know how many problems they have? I mean, how many they really have? First of all, their main river dried up. So
yeah, they got
lost
all, yeah.
they lost hydropower. They lost shipping ability. They're losing money like crazy. The people don't have food. They can't ship food around. It's a mess. Then you got COVID. There's a big strain of COVID. They're wiping people out. They don't want to tell anybody about that either. And then the whole thing with Taiwan. Then Taiwan says, "Oh yeah, we make the microchips that you guys use in all of your military equipment." So now they're like, "Uh-oh,"
Yeah.
like it's something to consider because we put China on notice when it came to microchips, and not allowing China to access our microchips. So, but China's got a lot of problems, man, and they can't really be meddling anywhere either. I'm like, they can't really afford to meddle. They can't afford to support Russia. They can't afford Russia. Ugh, what a mess.
They
I'm
can't
watching
afford
the
to
wars
support
daily.
themselves. They've got over 1 billion people that they cannot keep alive.
As
Their
soon
Well,
as
but
society
the
you
is growing
see,
Ukraine,
large and insane.
but stop. That might give China a reason to help Russia invade Ukraine. Ukraine's a breadbasket. China needs food.
the last thing China
Russia's
needs is
also a breadbasket, and China needs food.
the
So
last thing China needs is more sanctions on them, and they
Yeah.
they they
that's true.
admitted that.
They can't take any more sanctions, but if they
No,
could get their own food, then at least some of those sanctions wouldn't hurt as much. But a lot of the technology sanctions and other market sanctions are going to hurt really bad. People forget the only reason China managed to get to the number 2 economy is because of America, and Europe said, okay, thanks to President Nixon, we're going to be going back to trading with y'all again. So we were making them filthy rich. Now, because of a couple of things, we had the big formula thing, the dog food thing that was kids, car, the toys thing. So people stopped trusting China, and then COVID hit, and the whole world went, "Screw you, China! You just gave the whole world COVID."
Yeah.
Whether it was gain of function or not doesn't even matter. At this point, you gave the whole world COVID, and still giving the whole world COVID. So we're not exactly thrilled with you. So we don't want your products. Oh, I did see that China did start testing inhaler this in Shangri-La this week. So it's how you get a shot for your vaccine. This is an inhaler vaccine.
So like the things for asthma.
Yeah. So that's pretty much what it is. So I was listening to
but do
the
you
people
want
talking about it.
Chinese stuff? I
Yeah.
mean, people need to
No,
make a
well, we won't
decision
use
now.
Chinese stuff. The companies will just copy it, is all they'll do. But it is. I was listening to some of the local medical people talk about. It was good. Something that really bothers me about all of this. So, a couple of reports came out just recently about staying home when you got the vaccine. Well, the reports basically said that the more you move, the more you're out there moving around, the faster the antibody works, the faster they spread in your body. So keeping everybody home just actually slowed down the immune system. I was kind of like, what?
Well, I mean, it makes sense.
But
If your
wait,
body's
shouldn't it? But
inactive,
shouldn't. But
the
my
cells in
point
your body
is,
are inactive.
I know. But my point is, we've been giving vaccines for 100 years.
Yeah.
Shouldn't we have known this? I mean, shouldn't we have known this?
They didn't have a plan. There was a
Even
lot
if
of
we didn't,
misdirection.
it makes logical sense. You move around, your body, your cells move around. You stop moving around, your cells rest.
There was a lot of confusion. Trump wanted to close the border with China right there. I think it was January, February. And then, the Democrats fought him. Nancy Pelosi had a big thing in Chinatown that, you're our people and all this other crap. But that they played games because they played games that also hurt the spread, but whatever. It's out there. If you get it, you get it. There's versions out there now that are going to go right around vaccines. So if you have the vaccine, you're a little better off than if you don't have it. That's all.
Well, I got to give Biden credit about this chip bill about bringing chips back to America, which I never understood. Why would we outsource our weaponry chips? That just seemed just ignorant.
Seems drugs,
just ignorant.
chips for weapons. All of it seems ridiculous, doesn't it?
I mean, it's just. But anyway, we're bringing it back to the country where it should be. But Trump was planning on doing that anyway. He'd already talked about.
He'd already talked about it. But on the same token, we do that to help those countries that need financial assistance. If you go to any of the home improvement stores or to the grocery stores and look at the light bulbs. Almost every package of light bulb is made in Vietnam. Now that's not like, fantastic technology or anything, but we've farmed out different technologies to different countries because they're falling on hard times.
Well, and within Vietnam, it helped. It helped normalize relationships with them and us. So we've actually come to a much better relationship with them than we've ever had.
Mm-hmm.
It worked with China for a while, but then China got all big headed and said, "Well, we're going to rule the world. And we're just going to bully everybody into doing what we wanted." And America was like, "We're not dead. What do you think? We're not sitting here. What the hell's wrong with you? Our economy's still twice what yours is, and then we have Europe to go along with it.
Now
you got 11 trillion. We got 60 trillion. I mean,
now is the time to shut China down. When you have India as a major manufacturer of products, you don't need a China. I mean, and also, as for manufacturing, we can also concentrate on El Salvador, places like there, Central America or Northern South America, or even Mexico, and help their economies, help their economies grow. There's nothing wrong with that. And then so many people would be trying to get in if they had jobs and security and decent lives there. But why are we focusing on China? Why are we focusing on making China rich? I never understood that. Never.
Because that was supposed to help
Bill Clinton?
us.
Bill Clinton gave him favored nation status. Remember that?
Because it was supposed to help us. It was to lower prices because American-made products were too expensive. And we had outsourced to Japan for a long time. Japan was filling that gap of cheap products, but then they got expensive. And then we started outsourcing to Taiwan.
Every toy was made in China. Almost every toy. I mean, the Star Wars toys, the Thundercats toys, the G.I. Joe toys, every single one of them was manufactured in China from probably 75, 76 forward.
So what's fun now is we get to use human rights stuff to beat up on China so we can take things away from them now. So China, I don't know, China's in a bad space. They're going to have to get away from Russia if they want the world to even trust them a little bit anymore. So I'm not sure how that's going to work.
You got to go after the tariffs, and you have to make it just for American companies to deal with China. You have to make it very, just unfriendly. That's all, unfriendly, and that's the way they have to do their business. But if we cut the ties now, 48% of China's exports come directly to the U.S. So I mean, we're the major buyer, almost half of the crap that they make. Bad.
Trump put a lot of sanctions on that shit, and a lot of that stuff is not being bought anymore. More and more Americans are getting back to buying American again.
Well, with COVID, we had to redirect. With COVID, we had to deal with countries that we couldn't trust things coming from China. There was an embargo, not an embargo, but there was a slowdown anyway of all those container ships.
And we just didn't know what was coming with your product from China. Were you going to have a little COVID surprise in there when you got your things from China?
They only search 5% of all of those containers that come into the U.S. Just 5%. Can you imagine? So 95% of the stuff moves through. Nobody knows what's in there. Nobody has a clue.
Yeah, but have you ever seen one of those container ships? I mean, they
thousands
of containers.
Wait. Okay, first off, that's not exactly true. No containers cross through the United States without going through at least one scanner. They have to go through the radiation scanner. They're not allowed in the U.S. otherwise.
Radiation is different. I'm talking about.
But what I'm saying is
these
they scan the whole car. They don't take nothing out. They just scan the whole.
I'm not talking about radiation. It's
not just radiation they're scanning for.
In the ports.
They're scanning for.
I'm talking about if they're moving fentanyl inside of toys and things like that. They're the biggest manufacturer of fentanyl. And then that's one way it gets in is through our ports. They say cartels. That's a very small part. The biggest part comes right through our ports.
I don't know. Just I was been listening to some of the local places lately. There's sudden to be as much drugs on the street as there used to be. Not so much because
you having a hard time finding stuff, Joe? Is that
no, man? No, it's just I've been listening to some of the people. They've been doing special reports on them on television, and they're saying it's just hard for some reason. It seems like less and less. Well, the millennials and the Z-Geners have less drug issues than the baby boomers and the X-Geners do.
People switched off of cocaine, but they want the heroin and they want the fentanyl.
So they're just, but actually a lot of them, the Z-Geners and X-Geners millennials just are different than they don't drink as much. They don't do as many drugs. A lot of them are potheads, but they're not doing any real hard drugs and they're not really alcoholics. A lot of bars have closed because millennials and Zs don't drink. And when they do drink, it's usually some kind of selective bullshit.
Red Bull and vodka.
I mean, I've watched clubs down here. I've watched clubs down here that were in business for 50 and 60, 70 years that are gone now.
It's
The only
hard to
ones that
drink
really make it
anymore.
is the ones in the French Quarter,
How
and
many
that's because
bars
of
do you know that you
tourists.
could drive up to anymore and drive away from? I mean, those places are all gone. The ones around here, they're all
Oh,
history.
we got
The
drive-throughs. You mean like the daiquiri shops are all drive-throughs?
No, I'm saying a bar, a club. Just you drive there and drive away. I mean, a lot of these places are gone, and then the if they're there, they're in cities, and there's places that yeah, you're not supposed to drink and drive, but usually you got a designated driver, and you got your friends with you and that type of thing.
Yeah.
I'm saying that a lot of these places are gone. The music venues and that type
Oh
of
yeah, there's
thing.
a lot of
The
clubs
ones
are
that I
gone, but
know of are gone.
that's because the generations under us don't really drink. That's what's
It's
so
because of
weird about it.
insurance
You know what
and
they drink? A lot
crazy
of them some
insurance,
bitches
and
drink
also
coffee, man. They drink a lot of coffee.
Right.
Starbucks,
Now a
Red
coffee
Bull.
bar, that's the way to go.
They're making Starbucks billionaires, man. They drink more coffee than the baby boomers do, which is surprising because the baby boomers
Yeah,
drink a lot of damn
Starbucks
coffee.
are have an issue in cities that have a lot of crime, and they're closing those Starbucks down because their employees are in danger. So I mean,
Yeah.
there's a backlash coming to all of this politicism going on. This
Well,
politically
the
correct thing.
liberals. That's why Obama a couple of weeks ago was on TV talking about, look, you got to stop delivering a message of doom and gloom. He said, first of all, Biden should never got up there and talked about Armageddon because as far as he can say, we're nowhere near Armageddon, and you can't just keep telling everybody doom and gloom, and you have to get crime under control. Now he says that, but I remember his 8 years. Crime ran rampant in the country. All
He
liberals
started all
don't.
this stuff.
Two things I've
He
noticed
created
liberals.
Trump. He
Well, he did.
created
He
Trump.
created Trump.
He did.
But two things I've noticed liberals since you
Obama.
had you had Carter, Obama. See, Clinton, on the other hand, actually understood finances. He actually understood the military, even though he's cutting bases. At least he understood what he was doing. But none of the others seem to understand financing at all. They always
No,
had
that's
bad
that's
economies.
that's off base with Clinton because Clinton was the one with the microloan scandal, and they don't dump it in his lap, which I don't know why, but he was the one who took a Carter program and put it on steroids and told the Fed there was no bottom. Then you had people getting $500,000 loans who worked at McDonald's buying these extravagant houses. The housing market went up, everything went up, it became a big bubble. And then when they realized that $600 a month payment was going to be really $2,600 in a few months, that's when the whole thing collapsed, which is when that idiot Bush took over. The whole thing collapsed. You remember? I mean,
Yeah.
and then now what we're seeing is that housing prices are going down, down, down. You know why they're going down? Because one reason is because the Fed raised the limit. So the mortgage rates have gone up to over 7%. So and then material costs. So between the cost of materials, building houses, that type of thing, and then on the other side, so far people have lost about 20%. The market's dipped 20% housing market. They're saying it's going to go down 30, 40, maybe 45%. That's almost half the value of your home. I mean, that's a huge. That's for a lot
Well,
of people that have
you know.
their wealth though tied up in their property.
So,
That's going
but
to hurt
look.
them.
So this tells you how, no, this is a perfect example of what you're talking about. This tells you how screwed up everything is. So I have two cars, both of them. One of them's brand spanking new. It's less than 2 years old. Got every safety feature you can think. And then I got a Toyota Camry from 2016. All right. Halfway paid off. So I pay $420 a month for my homeowner's insurance, which covers $380,000 of damage on my house because that's what my house is currently worth. Okay, it's $380,000. I pay $400 a month for two cars that can't be worth more than maybe $40,000 tops. I don't even think they're worth that. They're probably worth $30,000. What the hell is going on in this country?
Well, you have a VAT tax, right? Value added tax in Mississippi.
No, well, Mississippi has what they have is you pay your tax on your title. I mean, you pay your tax on your tag. So every year you have to renew your tag here. So when
So
you
you don't
buy
have
a
a
brand
VAT.
new car,
Yes.
so when you buy a
Yeah.
brand new car, you don't pay a tax on it. You just buy the car. When you go to get the tag, you pay the tax, and every year you pay what the value of that car is worth in tax. So, like the
So it's a
first year
VAT
was like
tax.
$700.
Value
Wow.
goes down, but the
Yeah,
taxes
and it
go
goes
up.
down. Yeah. Well, no, the value goes down and the taxes go down too. But so like the first year was 500. And then the second year was 450. This year it's going to be 250, and eventually it'll get down to like $50. But the car will be 10 years old by then. But then you don't have to pay that $3,000 in taxes when you purchase the car, which I always included that in the loan. So I was always kind of like, but I can buy a car in either state, so it doesn't really matter to me. But it's just screwed up that I'm paying as much for those two cars as I am for a damn house. That doesn't even make any sense. I was talking to insurance company. I said, "What is wrong with you people?" And I said, "I have an excellent driving record." I'm like, "What the hell?"
It's not because of you; it's because of all the bad drivers out there.
Yeah,
And
but that's what I told them. I said, "You're
you.
punishing me because people can't drive." I said, "Why
That's
am
right.
my rates going up because these people can't drive?" You know what they say the rates are going up for? Because parts cost more. I said, "That's fine." I said, "But you ain't spent no parts on my car." I said, "So why are my rates going up?" And they're like, "Oh, but everybody's got to pay for it." I'm like, "No, until I
Yeah.
do something stupid, I shouldn't have to pay for it." But then, they don't care. They just want to rape you any
They
way they
charge
can.
you more if you have bad credit. So what does credit
Oh
have to
yeah,
do with your driving record? You could be
they
the greatest
charge you
driver
more
in
if
the
you got
world, but
bad
you got
credit.
bad
They
credit.
definitely do.
And you know how easy it is to have bad credit, especially after COVID. How easy it
It's
is. So
not
now, if you
hard.
want to get a job, they do a credit check to give you a job, background check, credit check, physical. They want all that stuff, drug test. Oh, the people that are supposed to trust you, right? You got to jump through all these fire hoops. But if you're going to get denied for a credit check, and then you see people out there saying, "Oh, there's jobs, people just don't want to work." No, they made it so strict and they made the rules so tight. Even like asking them for a bachelor's degree for a minimum wage job here in New York, and that's not even a living wage. You can't live on $15 an hour or $13 an hour.
Well, you
It's
can't.
not
I
going to
mean,
happen.
You can barely make
I
on
don't know.
21
And
bucks an
on
hour.
Long Island,
You
on
can't
Long
live
Island,
on
your
15
basic one
bucks an
bedroom
hour
apartment's
here.
going to be
Even in the
no Long
poor
Island.
towns like Kill,
Your basic
Mississippi,
apartment's going to be
Waveland, you can't live on that.
1,500 a month for a one bedroom on Long Island, and that's for a crappy area. You know what I mean? So if you want a nice place, it's going to be 2,500. Try paying that, and making $15 an hour.
Yeah, you're not going to
You're
pay it.
not
You're going to pay. You're not
Not,
going to
not
pay
without
it. You're
10
not going to
roommates.
pay it
No.
$1,500 a month at $15 an hour. It's just not going to happen.
Nope.
Down here, most rents are around $1,000 for like a 2 bedroom. They'll go up to 15. Now, if you want something really nice, they're going to jump dramatically. But if you're just looking for an everyday apartment, with all the amenities in it, air conditioning, nice sinks, bathrooms, usually two
Floors,
bedroom, 3 bedroom,
floors and walls.
floors and walls, dishwashers, refrigerator stoves, things like that. Yeah, those will run you. But it's my son's got a deal because he's friends with one of our owners, so he's got a nice deal on an apartment in Old Metairie, but it's a steal deal. I mean, it's but
You
like
got to
the
be
ones
able
we
to make
just
the money.
well
So if those
the
jobs
one
are
bedrooms we just remodeled going for 12,
if those
and
jobs
they're
aren't
just one
paying,
bedrooms.
you're not going to make the money. That's it. And then you're that. So you, the workforce, has to either leave or whatever you do, go on welfare or whatever you need to do, which isn't so easy either. By the way, I understand. So it really comes down to the choices working people have to make to be able to support the structure that this government wants them to support. But if there's no affordable housing, where are they supposed to go? Just live in their car, live in the street, and then work their job to serve people. So that's what's happening in a lot of places right now. Walmart's
Even if,
putting these tubes in. Have you seen
but
the
Michael,
Walmart
even if there
tube?
is affordable housing, if you don't have good credit, you're not getting into the affordable housing. And in some cases,
Oh yeah,
even for renting, they check your credit. A
right.
couple of years ago, or a year ago, going on a year and a half now, if my brother hadn't helped boost my credit rating from the mid 500s to the mid 600s, low 700s, I wouldn't be where I am now. I'd be on the street. I'd be homeless right now. My sister's credit, her boyfriend's credit was so bad that they were unable to get their own house. They were living in an apartment down in Frederick, but they also, from the money we split from the house sale of our parents' house, the money we got from that, she pissed it away in 2 months. I've got 10, 11 grand in a savings account that I can't touch. My brother's in charge of, which is fine, because to be honest with you, I'd piss it away too on stupid things. But I wouldn't be in this house with a relatively decent mortgage. I pay less than people rent.
Yeah, so do I. I got an excellent mortgage. I pay $750 a month for my house. So
$860 for mine. I got 5 bedrooms. I got 4 levels, 3 finished and 1 unfinished.
Yeah. So it's just nice, and then. But I mean, of course, I got to throw in my insurance payments. It's probably a bit more closer to $1,200, but still, I mean,
Taxes.
3 bedroom, 2 bath,
Taxes, yeah.
Well, and that's what everything with both my insurances and my note, it's about $1,200 a month because I got to pay.
I know
my house
people on
taxes.
Long Island that have a tiny house and it's worth a ton of money, but the taxes are like $1,200, $1,400 a month. I mean, that's
mortgage,
crazy.
Our taxes have been steady going up.
My insurance and my city and county taxes, so I'm not paying $2,000 to $3,000 a year for taxes in one sum. It's coming out monthly. So if I wasn't paying city and county taxes and the homeowner's insurance on my mortgage, I'd probably be paying like $500 or $600 a month.
So, on a side note, I know I got
You
a friend
don't
of
really
mine.
own. You don't own anything, do you? Like in America, we don't own anything. You buy a car, you can't use it unless it's registered, insured, unless you put gas in it. You buy a house, you got to pay taxes on it. There's really no way to be free. It's impossible because there is no free. Even welfare people are paying. We're paying for them. You know what I mean? But they're still paying. So I don't know, man. It's the system's got a lot of problems, and they don't
it does have a
respect
lot
where
of
the money
problems.
comes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Before we get into anything deep again, because I know we're getting close to the top of the hour, and we're going to get into some other topics. Cryptocurrency, what do y'all think? Is it coming? Is it staying? Is it going? Is it
Virtual
worth?
money. I mean, if I can't touch it, taste it, fold it up, and put it in my pocket, it's worthless to me. But it also, in order to get into cryptocurrency, you have to use paper money, and it's expensive. What is a dollar in cryptocurrency? Like $3,000 cash?
No, they go.
It depends on which one. I mean, some
Yeah,
of them are like
Bitcoin. I know what Bitcoin is right now.
They're expensive.
Some of them are 11 cents, and some of
some
them
are more
are
11
30
cents.
grand. Bitcoin's probably the biggest. So you need like an
Yes.
Ethereum wallet, and you can like use PayPal, things like that, to actually buy and transfer and do all that. But yeah, it's weird, isn't it? It's not like gold, because gold you
It's
got
not.
in your hand, you
Why do
look
I
at
want
and
money that
play
I can't
with.
physically fold up and put in my pocket? It has no value to me.
And with Russia threatening all the commercial satellites out there and shutting down basically the internet as we know it, where does crypto end up there? I'm still trying to figure the whole crypto thing out.
So
And I have a good friend
the
who
Bitcoin
trades.
is worth
It sounds like a scam.
$20,773.
For $1?
It just sounds like a scam.
No, yeah, for one coin, it's $20,000 for one Bitcoin. Is what they're
Jeez.
worth right now. So when they started, though, they were worth
So
42. Actually, when they started, they were to the 50. They've
11 years ago, it was about, I think they were $15 a coin. One Bitcoin was that. My friend Frank was telling me to buy, and I was laughing at him like it's gonna go nowhere, and I thought it was just a bunch of crap, in these Bitcoins. But then there you go. And at one time, it was like what, 80,000? It was up there, but
when it first came out, it was pretty high up there, but it's been on a downward trend ever since. I actually own 3.5 Bitcoins. I should have cashed them out. I wish I would have cashed them out about 2 years ago.
to
COVID,
sell them is a pain in the ass. You have to get
It
someone to
is.
buy them.
It is.
Like the stock.
It's sort of well, there's places you can go to sell them now, and there's people in other countries that'll buy them. U.S. it's a little bit harder to move them around, but I got some friends that own mining facilities. They own 2 different facilities now in Texas. One of them just came online just recently. The other one's been mining now for about 10 years, and they make quite a lot of money off of it. But the initial setup on it run anywhere from $5 to $20 million to set these places up. The first one, I think he paid $5 million for. I think this one's closer to 20. So they gotta mine a lot of coins, but they're running 24 core processors, maxed out RAM. These things got air conditioning systems running up and down the hallways. They're stacked 5 stories tall. I mean, it's insane.
And one little
producing.
EMP does what? What does the EMP do to something like
It
that?
ruins all of it. That's the point. There's no way. It's not backed or anything. Right now, it's not insured by anybody, and that's why the companies haven't got into it, because there's no way to get your money back if you lose it.
If you put your
and it's
cash, your
hackable.
coins, your silver, your gold into a bank that's federally insured, and that bank explodes, you get your money back.
You crypto people, y'all can call in if y'all want, or you can just join in. We'll send you a link.
The FDIC covers you like
crypto people,
a couple
you put your money in a
100,000.
crypto account, and like
one of our
says,
hosts,
the EMP comes down and it destroys the memory, destroys the computers that have your money in it. It's gone. You're not getting it back. I'm sorry.
Gone.
Yeah, nope. That's true. Well, gone. One of our former hosts, he's big into Bitcoin. He loves it. Guy Malone. I haven't seen him. He sent me a couple of his Bitcoin things that I haven't played them yet. I'm going to air them sometime in the near future. And now they sell these little solo mining things. They're little mini mines, and you can buy a bunch of them, put them on your desk, and let them mine away. But somebody's going to come along with a way to make them coins really fast, and it's going to be a real problem. I got mine because way back. So, long story short, I do SETI for NASA. I mean SETI, not NASA, but SETI. I've been doing SETI for a long time since it became available. I got several computers. At one time, I had 14 computers running SETI. I forgot how many hundreds of millions of hours we've got from. I think it's over 1 trillion hours. It's ridiculous, but they all run all the time, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, scanning, going through all the data. Well, I remember I had moved and I had to reboot some of the systems, and they asked me if I wanted to do Meteor Agent on Mars. I'm like, yeah, cool. I'll let the computer do that. And in the program was a mining program to help mine Bitcoin. SETI actually gave it to me. It came in the package. And I installed it, and I was watching. I'm like, well, it's going to take like 5 years. And then I realized I could install it on all the computers and do it. And then it cut it down to about 3 years. And then I've been letting them run it running right now as we're talking. But it's different than how they mine them today. Now you can invest in mining, but you're not actual mining yourself. I'd rather mine them myself. At least it's my coinage. And if I really wanted to, I could go out and buy a couple of hundred computers and put them in here and start mining a couple a year, and just let it go as another form of income. But I'm just not settled on, if it's worth it or not. I would be more of like, let me make them sell them, make me sell them, make them sell them, than hold on to them. Because like I said, the 3.5 I got now, I should have sold them bitches a while back, and it would have been $100,000 something. Now it would be what? $60,000-$70,000. So don't get me wrong, I'm not hating, but still, it's one of them things. Maybe somebody will make me an offer and I'll sell them. Anyway, moving right along, we're going to be at the top of the hour here in a few minutes, and if you look behind me, you will see the audio versions of L. Ron Hubbard's book Fear. We're going to be giving one of those away and one of the actual books away to Fear. So we'll actually ask some questions at the top of the next hour. Maybe I'll let Jay do 2 questions at the top of the hour, and then we'll pick a number on the email, and you can email me, and then we'll give them out. But we're giving away that, and then we're giving away.
Lightsaber is gone too. Who won that?
Huh?
Your lightsaber is gone. Did somebody finally win that?
No, not this one. No, we're giving away.
Kylo
Obi-Wan Kenobi's. No, we already gave away Kylo Ren.
Oh, you gave it away.
We're giving away Obi-Wan Kenobi's tonight. Didn't know mine. This one's still here. We haven't given it away yet.
Okay, yeah. All right, there we go.
Let me get you, people. Or, Michael, I'm not your father, you bastard.
Chop off his right hand.
And but it's stay there, thing. Stay. Bad lightsaber. But
what would be cool though, Joe? To see a real life fight with a real life lightsaber versus the real life Sword of Omens. I wonder who would win. I think the Sword of Omens would win.
Yeah, I think it would too. The lightsabers are great.
Power. It would take this lightsaber's power.
Yeah, it would. Even if it didn't take the power, the sword just got that particular sword has way more power than any lightsaber has.
Mm-hmm.
It draws more power, I guess would be a way of saying it. Plus, it gives you more power as well. So you might just take the lightsaber out and break the damn thing.
Yep.
So yeah, it's just one of those things. But I'll post a picture up in a little while of the one we're going to give away. And like I said, when we get in about 10 or 15 minutes in the next hour, we will go ahead and give away the books and the audio tapes. Now, quick, what do y'all think was the 2 top stories this afternoon on the news? Well, we know one of them because we were talking about it was, what's his name getting clawed in the head? Paul Pelosi getting clawed in the head. So we know that was one of them. So what was the other one? And this other one was actually a bigger story or carried more than the Paul Pelosi story was. It was Tom Brady's divorce.
Yeah. Versus Giselle Bundchen.
Yeah, well, they said they settled amicably. And so we'll see.
I don't know how that they can say amicably. I'll bet you there's a lot of screaming behind the scenes. But how can you be so stupid, Tom? I mean, she is a fantastic looking lady. What is she, like 9 feet tall, supermodel? She's in her 50s and looks like she's in her 30s.
And she's worth more than he is.
And she's worth more than he is.
I think last I heard she was somewhere close to 500 million and he was somewhere around 250 million. So
sometimes you get tired of that though.
And
so
she went back to modeling, so she's going to be making more money. So she's going to be.
She seems very
from what
arrogant.
I understand was
maybe
she wanted him to. Well, no, she said that it was basically. Tom was supposed to be retiring. He said he was retiring at 40.
Playing football and be with the family.
Yeah. He was going to retire at 40 and then he didn't. Then he was going to retire at 42 and didn't. Here he's at 45 and he's still not retired. She just had enough. She's like, you know what? Look, I'm hot. I go out there. She wanted him to deal with the kids as well. So what I'm wondering is first off, did they have a prenup because she had money in the beginning and Tom didn't?
Somebody did.
So I'm wondering about that. And then I'm wondering, since she's been primary care of the kids, is she going to get alimony and child support? And if it is, it's going to be a buttload of money, man. We're talking 50, 100 grand a month. Tom Terrific might. Well, we'll see how
I
he
mean,
plays
for the
football next
nannies,
year.
how many?
I mean, he
nannies
just
they
lost
have?
to the Panthers the other night, which were, playing pretty horrible. He's one game up in the Saints, which is 3-4, and the Saints are 2. In fact, the division is in the shithole. So I'm not sure where all this is going. I think it's affecting his football. But she's hot, and what's he going to do the first time he sees her strolling around? I don't know.
With somebody else, younger and
Yeah,
more
sexy,
rich.
good-looking guy.
I don't think he's going to be alone himself. So, yeah.
Oh, he won't be.
No,
alone
he probably
long.
won't. I mean, he'll recover quickly, but
He'll probably go get him a little 20-something thing, a little thing. And he might not hook up. He might enjoy being single for a while. I mean, he is
that brand new
terrific.
Ferrari's.
He's a
probably
football
lot
player,
better
Joe.
than
He
the
ain't going
old
to be
one.
single long.
He might want to play the field for a few years or something. You never know.
And
What
what do they
these
got?
guys.
20 cheerleaders on the field. He's taking one of them home every night, guaranteed.
Yeah, he's like, here we go. So anyway, moving on from Tom Terrific and all his drama. So this winter
I
thing,
wish I had
everybody keeps
problems
talking
like
about. Everybody keeps talking about the winters coming into Ukraine and Russia, and everybody keeps saying it's going to help the Ukrainians. I'm thinking, really, the Russians are pretty used to cold too. I'm thinking, are you sure it's going to help the Russians? I mean, the Ukrainians. I'm kind of leaning to it might help the Russians more. I mean, Russia's a cold country. I'm not seeing why it's going to help.
I don't think it's going to help either one of them. The ground will freeze. You can move tanks faster over the ground, but the mud right now is pretty nasty. Now it's like rainy season, mud, rain, that type of stuff. So they got the stuff they got to do every day. I can't even imagine, man. It's just.
I love this radical nudist thing. This is just too funny. So,
but now thousands of troops were sent to Belarus, right? And they're saying they're going to mass on that border, but these are those young guys that don't even have food in most cases. They brought stuff from home. I mean, they don't have body armor. They're using.
And you know what? I heard Putin admit that they're not equipped like they should be. So he's looking into it. I don't know what that means. Oh, he got some new title now, religious war leader or something. I forgot what it was.
I thought it was Grand Poobah.
I've seen it somewhere earlier today. Let me see if I can find it. We got to get into some of the polling numbers and who's pulling ahead and who's not. I seen.
He should start dressing like Captain Kirk, right? Like start wearing.
Here it is. Vladimir Putin given bizarre new title in Russia amid Kremlin's holy war.
Wow,
so, it's a holy war.
It's a holy war. When did it become a holy war?
There was also a rumor I heard today that Putin is going to be conscripting women into the army now.
That wouldn't surprise me.
Abducting women to make them force them into the army.
So two of the news agencies, USA Today and NBC, came out and said, watch out, Hunter Biden, if the GOP takes over the House. Because they're going after the FBI. They already said it. They said the FBI is just not doing its job. They're going to bring them in front of them all over the place.
Well, if the Republicans control the whole House, if they have the Senate and they have everything in check, they can bring charge. They can impeach Joe Biden, can't they? I mean, they can bring anything through. He's a lame duck at that point. Really lame duck. I mean,
it looks like they're gonna get the House. I mean, so far,
have you seen some of his antics lately? Joe Biden?
Yeah.
But
he's also done some pretty cool stuff lately too. Yeah, but he's
I saw that. I saw Fetterman. Oh my God, I can't believe even his family puts him out there.
Thug.
He's a scary dude. He really is, but he's got health problems, and
I got this crap in the mail. I mean, the dude is. I mean, he looks like a thug, and then he's got
put a light bulb in his mouth. Put a light bulb in his mouth. He's like Uncle Fester.
Look at this.
Oh my God, Fetterman, hell of a gay. It's a mess. It's a mess.
I have a feeling Pennsylvania that for the big tickets, the Republicans are going to win. Oz and Mastriano. But then the local levels, the cities, counties, mayors, and all that, it's going to be up and down. You're going to get some Republicans, some Democrats. In some cases, you might not even have but one running candidate anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, they don't care about who's in there, though. They care about the power behind the seat. They can appoint anybody they want after this guy wins, you know. So,
Yep.
Same for Kathy Hochul. She didn't win governor. She got in on Cuomo's coattails. He resigned because of his sexual scandals. And then here she is. I mean, but, you know, Zeldin, who's running against her, he's like David and Goliath. He's like the underdog. And then now he's ahead of her because people don't want the crime. They're scared. And she doesn't understand why. Come on, man. It's silly, you know, but none of these people do it. They don't live in the real world. They don't, they don't have to walk the streets of New York City. Back in the day, I used to walk through those streets from place to place or whatever. You see it all. And that was a long time ago. Now it's like people getting stabbed for no reason. You just sitting there on the street corner and someone comes up and puts a knife in you for no reason. This is happening dozens of times per day. You know, people get shot or pushing for on the subway or whatever. And then you have these politicians in denial, but they're the ones who are creating the crisis. They're the ones that's their rules. So now they hired a private security company to work in the subway to aid the police officers in the fight of this menace. You know, but it costs twice as much as what it would pay a cop.
Yeah, they're
So
hiring brute squads to bolster the police instead of putting in more police. People
Not
who
even
are
a good
specially
brute
trained
squad
for that
either.
kind of stuff.
Like my brute squad would be with baseball bats. Like my brute squad would be completely different. But yeah,
you
man.
Give 20 guys a baseball bat or a couple of 3-foot-long 2x4s. You can definitely make some peace.
The wealthier areas in New York City has hired these private security companies to patrol the buildings, blocks, or whatever. But what are they going to do? I mean, you have this criminal element who is empowered now. Who they have no problem using a gun, a knife. It's like if you're a security guard, you're not a sociopath, most likely. You just a person working a job. You want to go home, and whatever you make per hour is not very much. But when you think of what you have to encounter, now you're encountering stuff on not just a level of the police encounter, on a level like psycho criminal out of control with a weapon. But when you have to meet that in the street, it's scary. I've been there. When you have to pull that outside of you're a halfway decent person, you don't believe in hurting people and that changes when you're faced with some psycho with a weapon. And this is what people are experiencing all the time. In addition to that, I just read how New York City restaurants have to charge so much for stuff. People are paying up to $50 for a burger. And fries in a sit-down restaurant. Yeah. Up to $50, and I'm like, what? And then, yeah, man, those are the prices.
Because of security issues, or they're just fleecing people.
They're fleecing people basically, but they're saying they don't have enough people coming in to support those restaurants. The workers aren't there. People don't want to go out. The people who live there don't go out of their apartments. They're afraid. So I don't know, man. It's just interesting that this is happening like this,
So it's looking like they're going to take the House by 12 or 15 votes. It's also looking like if Herschel Walker wins and Oz wins, they're going to take the Senate back. So they'll have the House and the Senate.
Mm-hmm. What's funny?
They'll have a clear win, and it won't be 50 votes. It'll be 51 votes for them, or 52. They'll have the House and Senate.
I've been watching DeSantis lately, like just looking at clips and just listening to what he says. This dude is becoming a hero, man, because he just, what? He's very real. And
he's very real.
Maybe part of it's showboating politically 10%, but the rest of it, focuses on the core values of what everybody wants: to be safe, to be able to not get fleeced by your government for taxes and things. I don't know, man. And you can defend yourself in Florida, whereas in New York now, if you do, you may not get through that defense.
Well, that may all be changing, because I'm not sure if your so-called governor is going to make a second term or make a first term, really.
She pulled out the basket of deplorables, man. And when she said, what difference does it make to locking up dangerous criminals? What difference does it make? That's all people.
It makes a lot of difference, because they're not on the street hurting people.
That tells people where she's going. That tells you right there that she's in La La Land.
Well, I mean, that's the same thing with Fetterman. He wants to let dangerous criminals out, and
right.
he thinks that it's okay.
I
It's
watched
the
him
same
say
as
it.
putting
Yeah,
the police. It's insane.
he's got the tattoos of these people on his body that were wrongfully accused and whatever.
Well, I noticed they tried to blame Oz for picking on Fetterman because he had a stroke and all. Well, but I noticed the Democrats didn't want to do any debates in
No,
this
no, no.
election.
Oz didn't pick on Fetterman during that whole
No,
thing. He
that's
was
not what I'm
actually,
picking on
saying.
Oz.
he
No,
was
the
actually, he
news said
held
that.
himself pretty well.
No,
He,
that's
he
not what
could
I'm saying,
have.
Mike. I said the news said he was picking on it. NBC, ABC, CBS, CNN all said that
Yeah, I mean
Oz was
that
picking
that
on
didn't
it,
happen.
and so that's just part of the way the news goes. But right now, it's looking like they're going to take both the House and the Senate. So
Yeah.
Congress.
And
You know what Oz should.
back
You know what
up
Oz.
what you're saying, Joe. If you guys
Wait,
watch
what I
Pennsylvania,
found interesting about this is, Mitch McConnell got busted. Not Mitch McConnell. Chuck Schumer got busted yesterday, telling Joe Biden that it looks bad for the
Oh
Democrat
yeah,
in Georgia.
definitely.
It looks like it's going to be Herschel Walker, and it looks like the governor is going to win, not Stacey Abrams. So,
Yeah.
so it's
Maybe,
more and more of
hopefully.
these seats are going away that they expected to take now. Out in Arizona, though, I hear the Democratic candidates coming on strong, so we'll have to wait and see how that goes, and see what goes on. But that's for governor. But I also hear in Nevada and other places that they may be purple this time instead of blue. So it's nice to see, people paying attention and waking up and saying, "What the hell?" But if they can give them the House and the Senate, 25 clear, but if you give them only 3 or 4 votes, it can only go.
Me, not nor me.
So
robot.
robot.
You
are a fucking robot. What the hell?
Well, you have all these people from California pouring into Arizona, Phoenix, the Phoenix area, the whole bit, Sedona, and then they're Democrats.
Nevada, Las Vegas, Utah.
Yep. Believe it or not as many in Nevada. Las Vegas is a very weird. It's not a family friendly place. So,
Not
but
anymore.
for those California families, they want Colorado, Texas. They're flocking to Texas, but mainly Arizona, Texas. New Mexico, there's not much there, so there's not much to flock to. You know what I mean? A lot of poverty. I've been through New Mexico lots of times, and it's very poor, strickenly poor. And
It's
you
a desert.
say to yourself,
I mean, more than half of New Mexico is a desert, and more than probably I think 75% of Nevada is Nellis Air Force Range, and you can't get on there without being top secret clearance.
I mean, it's beautiful in New Mexico, beautiful people too. The whole bit, but barren. Yeah, you know what I mean, barren. So
it's a desert. I mean, what do they have? They got that. What's that desert? The
White Sands Missile Range.
White Sands Missile Range, but there's another big desert going towards California. But you got White Sands, Alamogordo, and Sandia Labs. They're all right there on the edge, on the eastern edge of the state, right by where Roswell is. It's barren. It's military bases all over the place.
It was Indian reservation all over.
Reservations, yeah.
You got Chaco Canyon up there.
Mm-hmm.
If you go up to Shiprock, that whole area, that's where they see the skinwalkers and all that. But it's also interesting to know.
Famous for the cattle mutilations.
Yeah, but a lot of people don't know this that it's the number one mining spot for uranium. Is in that area. So there's uranium mines all over the place and waste, they pump it out. You know what I mean? Big dirt piles full of radioactive waste, but it's not really friendly. It used to be, what? I drove up there. It was like 1990 and the road was actually called 666 from Gallup to Shiprock. And then it goes over to Farmington. Right. So I had a friend up in Farmington who worked for a drilling company and he was like, hey, come on up and visit, So, there was no internet. We're talking about 1990, you know what I mean? I had triptychs from AAA. Remember those triptychs? These little maps, and they show you where stuff is on there, you know what I mean? So it made driving a little more intense, right? Back in the day, if you were traveling and through areas you didn't know, like these days, you got GPS that kind of can guide you to anything.
Big Ben Parliament, largest ball of twine in the world.
But dude, I experienced some weird stuff on that Route 660. It's not called 666. They renamed it like 451. But I saw weird stuff on that road. That's where the skinwalkers attack people on that road. And there's a Navajo blog where they openly talk about, like, hey, just the other night I was on so and so highway, I saw a skinwalker, running at me. Like, it's very matter of fact for them, you know what I mean? But it's beautiful up there. It's beautiful, but you think about, it's very desolate. There ain't nothing. There's nothing there. I mean, dirt and more dirt.
Yeah.
Colorado's
Unlike Texas
beautiful.
West, it's all, open dead space.
Have you been to Colorado?
I have been to Colorado,
Colorado's,
yes.
yeah, I love Colorado, man.
Colorado's beautiful.
I don't like the Denver area as much, but when you get into the mountains, or you go south, Colorado Springs down there, it's really super cool, and the
Colorado
people are
Springs is
cool.
where Cheyenne Mountain is, one of our
Yeah.
bases. But if you ever been through Boulder, Boulder was made famous by the Mark and Mindy show. And you go through Boulder, at least I did in the 80s, it looked just like it does on the opening sequence to the Mark and Mindy's. They got that little strip mall where Mindy's father's music shop was, looks exactly like it was in the TV show. And then another 3 or 4 or 5, 6 blocks down that same road is the house that Mark and Mindy lived in, and it looks exactly like it does on TV.
When I was there in 2020, and I was just outside of Denver. What was it called? Louisville. That area right there. It's by Boulder. It's by all that, and like they're all kind of relative to one another. So I was gonna go back out there again, and it was La Quinta Hotel. So I looked it up. I couldn't find it online anymore. I'm like, that's weird. I looked and looked and looked and looked and whatever. You know what? It burned down. It was part of that when they had that big blast fire. Like, when the fire went through that area, that was the neighborhood where the whole damn town burned down. And it was so weird because like it was such a cute little town. But that's scary, man. Like on Long Island, you don't experience stuff like that. Where you live in Pennsylvania, you don't experience stuff like that. We have different climates here where things are saturated, where even when things are dry, they're still not all that dry.
4 seasons a year. We don't have deserts over here.
Yeah, but out there, if it gets dry, and Colorado, it's still deserty. So if it gets dry like that, then you have a spark and 100-mile-per-hour wind blow through. Whoosh! That's all you need. That's all you need, man. So I feel bad for that. You know what I mean? But whatever. I mean, it's a hard place to live. I think if you live in nature, you gotta be ready to roll. Like in Florida. Like, you live in Florida, you got hurricanes coming through, you got to go, unless you're in a place that's like really,
the entire state of Florida is 10 feet below sea level. So if a hurricane comes through, you need to get out because you're going to be inundated and you have to swim to get back out if you don't get out in time.
And then my new movie's coming out called Gator NATO, man. I got that from the last hurricane. You know what I mean? Gator NATO. People are like, oh my God. So. And then, I don't know, man. It's like, I don't know. Are you safe anywhere? I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't know if you can get away with the Gator NATO thing. You might have to change it to Gator Cane, so that the Sharknado people don't come after you.
Cocaine. Change it up a little bit. Get the people, get the candy crowd motivated.
Gators high on cocaine eating people in Florida.
That's about right. I mean, like I've read stories where they found gators with not just that, meth. They found a gator.
What are you two goofballs talking about, man? I got to read about Elon.
Gators on drugs, man. Joe.
I know Michael's on drugs. I got to read about it, and I don't hear nothing.
No, this alligator ate a guy who sold meth and ate all the meth that he had on him. It just happened recently. That's a Florida story, man.
We are cutting Michael.
You know where most gator attacks are, though? It's going to be like your Carolinas. There, and a lot of people don't realize how many alligators. Like they're everywhere, and every
most gator attacks happen in New York City.
In every body of water, there's alligator. Even a puddle, you're going to find alligator. People go out to their pool. There's alligator in the pool. People go to the hot tub. Alligator in the hot tub. So yeah,
actually, most reported alligator attacks right now is probably Disney World.
In Colorado, you got snakes and you got scorpions. Man, there's like a whole bunch of different species of scorpions there, and they're nasty little buggers.
So let's
not
talk
the big ones. If you get bit by a scorpion and it's a tiny one, don't keep it to yourself.
Mm.
So what about the shooting in Pittsburgh today? What happened with that? Why was there a shooting in Pittsburgh, man? I mean, you live up there, Jay.
Was that one of our hosts, man?
I am 3 hours from Pittsburgh. I have nothing to do with
what I mean.
Pittsburgh.
You're in the same damn state.
I am in the boondocks compared to
You
where
still
Was
in
Pittsburgh.
that
same
was that
damn
one of our
state.
hosts, man, getting into
I
a
know we do
gunfight
have
in
hosts.
Pittsburgh?
We do have several hosts in Pittsburgh. Oh, well, I should say.
There's a couple of
But
them that I wouldn't be surprised at all, but I'm kind of waiting for it to happen.
it's we do have a few. We do have a few. I just had read about it earlier, and I was like, what's going on here?
It's at a funeral. Apparently, some 6 people got injured.
Yeah, it's. I see that other guy went to jail for running through everybody in a Christmas parade. I heard him giving his closing statements, and I was listening to this guy going.
It was
And then I heard the
crazy.
DA. I was like, "Oh man, dude, you're going to jail forever." It's like
Yeah.
you're not getting
Well,
any better.
The guy's
Yeah.
crazy. I mean, he
Yeah,
if
I
you
mean,
listen to him
you got
talk.
to be nuts to drive a car through a Christmas parade. I mean, I don't care how bad your life is. You don't. That's just
Yeah.
wrong.
So I keep
On
reading
all
these
levels.
things saying that the Republicans don't have a chance of taking the Senate, but every time I look, the 3 seats that the Democrats need to keep the Senate looks like they're going to lose. So I'm kind of like, well, what are y'all talking about? We don't want to face reality here that we're going to probably lose the Senate too. I mean, mm, I just
Sorry, I don't feel bad for him. I mean, the economy is going to improve if this happens. It might take
so
4 more
wait.
years
So
of Trump to get it better.
also let's flash back for a minute with the Pelosi thing. So this I love how they wrote it. Radical nudist. Okay, so is this going to be some white supremacist thing? I mean, they got to spin this some way for the Democrats to use it. It just doesn't look
If
like
he
they
was
can.
MAGA, they would have blasted that. They would have
I don't
blasted
think it's
that.
MAGA, but I thought they might try to, some white
If
racist
he
thing
had
or some
a
shit.
pickup
But
truck
he's not black.
outside with a rebel flag on it, man, they would have blasted that from here. That would have been the first thing they said, even before the attack. A MAGA Republican attacked Paul Pelosi. They would have been their lead over and over again. So they're gonna try to spin it. It's the guy is a nut and shouldn't have been on the streets. He's living in a shed and he's messed up. He's a product of what they created, and here it is. And no one is safe in zombie land. Nobody. You're not safe in your home. You're not safe. If you think you're safe, you're fooling yourself. There's levels of safety.
Oh, I beg to differ. I'm safe. If I'm awake and someone breaks into my house, they're not going to get out unmaimed. Sorry. I mean, I just got weapons on every level. They're not going unless they get on top of me first and I'm asleep.
It's not what I'm saying. I mean, you be armed to the teeth. It doesn't really matter. It matters in even engaging with somebody, and you never know what's going to happen. You can't underestimate people, and I'll tell you about one time, right? And this is gonna sound crazy, but I lived in a good neighborhood, nice neighborhood, really quiet street. And there was a lady who lived across the street, an older one, and her husband had passed away, and she still was living there. She was a principal of a local school at one time. So, but we knew her the whole bit. And then my ex was gone, and her daughter was with her. I was there with her son, and it was like just for the weekend, we're chilling out, right? And then look out the window one night. It was around 11 o'clock at night, right? And there's a dude out there, bald, slapping himself in the head on the lawn of this woman's house, and I had never seen him before, right? So the lights were off in the kitchen, but I had enough light where I could navigate. So I'm like looking out the window, watching this dude, and he's like screaming at himself. No cell phone, hands up in the air. And this is like very misplaced in the neighborhood. So I call the police, right? The police come down. Yeah, the police are a mile away. They come down the street. They were there in a few minutes. The dude sees the police car coming and boogies into a tree line to hide from the cops. So now I'm thinking like, okay, this guy, he's more than just messed up. He's avoiding the police. There's something going on here. So I mean, and I'm armed. I armed myself, and my ex's son was sleeping in his room, and then I'm thinking like, but what if something happens to me? I mean, yeah, I got swords. I'm a martial artist. I could do all this stuff, and I got guns. But what if something happens? And I was like fearful for the kid. I was like, what if something? And when you're faced like that, when you're in the face of engaging with somebody, and then it's your safety and more important, the safety of others around you, it's a whole different game. And now it's hard for people to leave their homes now and not think about these violent attacks of being at a parade or being in a store, or being at church or being in a school, that you never know when these nut jobs is going to go off. And if you have to engage with him, like I look at those old Valdy cops, they're all in the hallway. I heard video today of them crying about, we don't want to go in there. I don't want. One guy's like, well, I'm not going to get shot. Like these are cops that are sworn in to protect and serve. But when you're faced with that level of confrontation, the other person already made their move. All right. So then the cop leaves. Right. The guy sees me in my kitchen, points his finger at me, and then starts like marching over. So I'm like, okay, it's going to be on. You know what I mean? That's it. It's going to be on. But I'll tell you, man. And eventually, he better for him that he went. He disappeared off. Like in the driveway. Turns out it was that woman's like son who was like from Chicago and whatever. I don't know what he was on. I don't know what he was doing. But I'm just saying that was my personal experience of like, wow, and if the kid wasn't there, I wouldn't have felt any which way. I would have gotten in my Jeep and drove over the guy. Quite honestly, in New York, you can back up over somebody. It's not against the law. It's called the Martha Stewart
they're
law.
nuts,
Like,
yeah.
Yeah. So they're going to charge this guy with attempted murder on Paul Pelosi. And wait, if he wouldn't have listened to the cop, he wouldn't have got cracked in the skull. So when the cops came, both guys had their hands on the hammer. The cop said, drop it. So Paul Pelosi dropped it, and the guy grabbed the hammer and cracked him in the head with it. I was like, then the cops tackled him down. But he was there looking for Nancy.
Isn't
He said
crazy?
when he came in the door, he was screaming, "Where's Nancy?" He wasn't looking for Paul. He was looking for Nancy.
He was going to tie Paul up. He was going to tie him up and wait for Nancy to come back.
That would have been
somebody waiting
interesting
for you in your kitchen. But then what's weird too about the story? One account, one part of the media says she was in Washington D.C. The other part says she was in Europe during the attacks. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, where was she actually? Yeah, it's probably where she's supposed to be.
But you know something? That's got to say, when you have an intruder come in your home, in your car, someone break in, or in your home. I don't know if you guys ever experienced a loss on any kind of level like that. When you have someone come in your home, it's a whole different world. Your level, like I was talking about before, your level of safety is blown. Because you that energy's there. You know what happened. And you have to better protect yourself, right? On different levels. But whatever. You would think Pelosi would have shatterproof glass on those windows. Like when I think,
But
I know
the door was open. The door was open. He just walked in. The sliding glass door.
They said that he shattered a window in the back. And
I just read it again. The cops reading the police report. Police report said he just walked in. The side door was wide open. The glass door was
there
open.
You go.
Well, that's got to be on Paul for not locking up when he came home.
And then as he walked in, he was shouting, "Where's Nancy?" And then
I think there's something something more to this, man. I don't know.
Yeah, because Paul dialed 911, and so the dispatcher could hear it, and then they were fighting over the hammer when the cops showed up. So something's missing in this, and we're not going to find out what it is. And,
there's a lot missing.
All I talk about him is he's a crazy nudist guy. So Elon Musk been cleaning house today, huh? He fired pretty high level people as he took over. Some of these guys were in San Francisco when he took over. They were escorted out of the building.
Well, he announced about they're going to get rid of all the bots. So Twitter's going to see a real dip in real numbers because there's tens of millions of bots that don't, they're just fake accounts. You know what I mean? And then like AOC and people like that, a lot of those people who like her or whatever are fake. So I don't know. We'll see what happens with the whole thing.
So we're gonna see. So they're
what
going
do you think is going to happen in the election? I think the nuts are coming out, and I think that's going to be so goddamn dangerous. I think Halloween's going to be so damn and I don't want to feel like that either, man. I don't want to feel
it depends
like
where you are. I see down here we're not really having those kind of issues. It's going to be pretty peaceful this year.
Where I'm at, I don't.
It's been pretty laid back. I mean, even
you guys are special. I got a cornfield next to me, and you know what a cornfield does on Halloween?
You're gonna get all them children in the corn come out in your backyard.
Oh, those kids are demonic, and they scream, they're loud, they chant, always chanting on the lawn. I'm like, get off the lawn, go back to the cornfield.
Black eyes.
Oh my god! I throw candy corn at them. They curse at me. You know what? I have nothing. I have nothing for them. I ate all the candy already. So I have nothing for them. Nothing. Maybe pizza.
I wanted he maybe pizza. I wanted to see he fired like the chief financial guy. He fired everybody, all the top people. He just canned him. He said for lying to him about the numbers. He
Gotta have
said,
pizza after eating all that corn. You know what I
and
mean?
now they're
Corn's,
saying
corn's good for a while.
now they're saying that he's buying it. He's going to sue them for some of the money because they lied about the numbers and Twitter's not as worth as much as they said it was.
Yeah, he's a
So we'll see.
freak.
We'll see where that goes.
And there are
He's a
people
freak.
on the internet panicking that he's going to disband it and like it's gone.
No,
You know who's losing?
he's already putting
ass?
the committee together. He's already putting a committee together of diverse backgrounds, and before anybody can be thrown off or banned, it has to go in front of that committee before, and they all have to agree on it. So
You know who's losing his ass right now is Zuckerberg, man. I mean, Meta's
yeah.
dumping, is tanking. I mean, and this, they never did
But it's
better
not
than his
losing members.
IPO.
It's only losing advertisers, but it's not losing members. Its membership is
He's
still growing.
bullcrapping people. the investors, he's bullcrapping them and saying that's it's because of this and that, whatever. But he's not telling the truth. It's not generating the numbers. Plus, I know a lot of people who have left Facebook who aren't going to look back because of this Facebook jail.
Yeah, but I know a lot of people have just
political
joined
stuff,
Facebook. So, and Facebook is connected to Instagram.
Have you ever bought anything? I've never bought anything off Facebook. Any ad, nothing. Never clicked on the ad.
Oh, I know a lot of people buy off Facebook all the time.
I bought a couple things for my house.
I know a lot of people buy off Facebook. They love it.
But what they do is sell your information. That's how they make money.
Everybody sells your information. It doesn't matter. Your information got sold a decade ago and gets sold every day. I mean,
all
my credit card companies.
His stock went down 35% just like yesterday. So tell that to the people that it's tanking.
Yeah, but they're not the only stocks tanking right now. Yeah, he's lost a lot of money. Not just this time. He's earlier.
He's lost billions himself just in one day. What does that feel like?
Yeah, but he can also make it back in one day too. That's the bad part.
I really love to. I'd love to have that much money, then lose that 10 or 11 billion and still not be going crazy. Like I still have another 14 billion.
See, because the problem is that Facebook. Somebody could take Facebook out, or somebody would build another Facebook. But Twitter's not Facebook.
Yeah,
you can't do what you can do on Facebook.
He bought everybody
Twitter.
up.
Twitter just doesn't have what it takes to compete with Facebook because you can't do. I mean, Twitter's going to always be wealthy because how they do it. But
so the three of us will do it right now.
Different.
We'll call it My Face. You know what I mean? My Face, and boom, people can join. No one's going to get trumped on. How's that?
I think we'll man. I think.
You what?
I think we're going to sue your.
Who's going to sue?
Elon
Facebook,
Musk,
Meta,
for one,
Elon Musk,
for another. But some of those other platforms they're limited in their scope versus Facebook. I mean, Facebook,
what I don't understand is why don't someone buy MySpace and redesign it? It's still got 650 million.
Facebook already owns it.
Do they?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought they still were independent. Because they still got 650 million followers over there. They
own Instagram. They buy Snapchat, right? I mean, they pretty much own everything.
I don't know if they own Snapchat, but Facebook owns Instagram, and they used to own Twitter. I thought, but the Instagrams and the Twitters and the Snapchats, they're kind of limited in their scope. You can only put so many characters on when you put something down. Facebook, you can write a novel on your wall, and it collapses. You have to open it up to see the whole thing, but you can write forever.
Yeah, it was what was his name? Whatever his name, Joe John, whatever his name was that owned Twitter. He was smart, but he was just a hardcore liberal, and Twitter just treated everybody as a hardcore liberal. I mean, if you weren't on their political view, you were off. Oh, look at this. Governor Ron DeSantis, attorney, holds huge lead over Ashley Moody, the person running against him. He's like 10, almost 14 points ahead of him. Yeah, I don't think you got much to worry about there, DeSantis. 55-41. Oh my God, yeah, he's kicking his ass.
So Google's taken a huge hit. I just think that everything is just kind of coming to a head. I don't know. Too much, too long. The social media thing is so negative. It affects kids in a terrible way. That it doesn't have too many positive things about it. I don't know. I think it's coming to a head. and the younger generation doesn't use Facebook. They're on TikTok and doing that kind of crap. So it's the older generation, and people are leaving because they're sick of it. I'm just sick of apps. I mean, me personally, I use it for business and whatever, but you know,
Yeah, Jack. So to a person, just Jack was CEO. Now Elon Musk is CEO.
uh,
Jack is adios amigos. He was escorted from the building. Said, "It's my building. It's my money. Get out of here now."
you should have had him brought him outside and pushed him down on the ground.
We're handcuffing you. They should handcuff him and dragged him from the building.
Push him into the gutter, like throw all the stuff in the street.
Say, out you go, buddy.
You think
So
some major corporation would hire me just to work in their HR with my ideas? You know what I mean? I have some good ideas. I have no problem firing people either. It's like euthanizing someone. It's good for them. Move them along to a better life.
Promote them to customer.
Oh, Handy, how did you get in my ear, man? Damn, all of a sudden Sean Hannity was blasting in my ear. It's like, where the hell did that come from?
Oh, my God. That's horrible.
I was kind of wondering where it was coming. I was just wondering where it was coming from. It was kind of weird. It started blasting.
Who's that other guy, man? Tucker Carlson. Oh, my God.
Tucker Carlson, yeah. Well, Fox people do well. I mean, they're
he's like the douche in the lunchroom that think he knows everything. Like he's the guy that gets like thrown out the window. I went to a tough school. If you come off like Tucker Carlson, you're going out the window on the 3rd floor. But I don't know, man. All these guys they sensationalize. They're not really focusing on. They just cherry pick and attack those things. But people are sick of that. People are sick of that in politics. They're sick of that from their news. They just wanted to hear what the hell's happening without it being editorialized or opinionized, with these people. People have their own opinions, right?
Xi Jinping's calling for a world-class military to be owned by China.
Well, he made some money first. Nasty comments on how he was going to make people pay for this, that. Of course, you got to do that sinister type of thing.
No, that's who he is, man. I mean,
but he's saying that China should be the only one in charge of a military. Is that what he's trying to say?
No, he wants to have a military bigger than the United States. He wants to be the all-powerful military. But first, you got to have. He's got the people, but he don't have the money, and they don't have the technology either. So
or the training. How long has our military been? In some kind of
in some kind of conflict.
Action?
Yeah.
30, 40,
that's what
years?
That's what Medvedev told Putin. Medvedev just recently he had quoted. He was sent something to Twitter today, by the way, congratulated Elon Musk on buying it. But Medvedev had told Putin, getting in a war in the United States is suicidal. And there's no nation or the country that can match them head on. He said, even with China's help, we could not take them on a head on fight. He said, even without their allies, he said, they're a nation of fighters. He called us a nation of killers, but whatever you want to call it. We've been at war for basically 100 years with a little break just recently and a little break after Vietnam. But other than that, we've been at war since World War II. Yeah, we're very equipped. Our people are not going to hesitate to kill you. And our drone forces, because our millennials and Z-Genders are such good gamers, it's going to be hard to even compete with that because there's so many of them. Somebody said, well, China's got gamers. Yeah, but they ain't got that many because they ain't got that much money and that many people don't live like Americans over there. It's a little bit different. And they're not playing the military design games that our kids are. So some games designed by the algorithms in the games are designed by the military to be put into certain types of games, especially first-person shooter games. You'd be surprised how many of them have this integrated into it. And it's top secret, but it's not top secret because it's known that it happens. You can look it up to actually talk about it and stuff, but it's secret in the fact that we won't ever know what kind of algorithm is or what games it's in. We're not going to know that, but we do know it exists, and that part's not secret. So they're training these kids, are showing them how good they are ahead of time. So they'll just be recruiting. They'll just take this whole generation and sit them behind computers and just put out 4 million drones and say, okay, let's have a war. Pretty soon we won't be using people anymore. It'll be who can mass produce the most. And China will have an uptick there if we're not careful. So, but if we use our allies like Taiwan and Japan and the Philippines and all of them, then we can compete. and punch out as much stuff. So, but the other part of China has, even they could mass produce at a fast rate, they don't have the materials. Once they're cut off, they're off. They don't have access to lithium. They don't have access to a lot of stuff, including a lot of foods they would be out of. Like Russia right now. So Russia's got all kind of. They're trying to get food back in their country. You know, a bunch of restaurants had all left. Coca-Cola left, so they got some new
McDonald's
Cola.
left.
Yeah, so they got this new Cola Coke thing. It's just weird. They're trying to fill in the gap for their people, but their people don't want that crap. They want Coca-Cola, man.
Mm-hmm.
They want Marlboros. They don't want that shit in Russian cigarette. They want Coca-Cola and Marlboros. They want American cigarettes.
Mm-hmm. American jeans,
just like
American
Chinese want
American
American
burgers.
cigarettes. You know, you get used to stuff, and America does things that mass produce. People like it in mass production, and
right
all
now,
countries like that.
Russia cruise missiles also use those chips from Taiwan and chips from the United States. They're not getting them anymore, so they're having a hard time building weapons.
Yeah, I heard they stopped firing missiles. Somebody said they're out of missiles. I don't know if that's true or not, but
they've been buying. That's why they've been buying from Iran and Iraq. I understand they're not really putting that out there a lot, but
new Democratic poll comes out and suggests Democrats will lose more than 20 to 25 seats in the House. And that's not even a little bit good for him. It's and Nancy will no longer be in control. And if something does go wrong and something blows up or something happens to the president and vice president, she won't president. We'll have somebody else, a Republican.
So let's say the Republicans take it, right? What does the next 2 years of Biden, lame duck Biden, look like? I mean, are they going to put him out the pasture?
Well, okay. Then this is important to distinguish what's going on here. If they take the House and the Senate, and they've got a good, 2 or 3 votes in the Senate, then they can get bills passed. They can pass them. He can veto them. Then the second time they can pass them, they can go ahead and force them through, and Biden can't veto them. So, but they only got 2 years to do this, so they'll have to be doing it quickly. Plus, there's several committees they want to go after Biden's bill for these 80,000 IRS agents. They want to get rid of a bunch of them, but they also want to put some type of transparency on them because last time Obama did this, they went after Republicans and religious people, so they don't want that happening again. So the GOP wants to put a stop to that. Also,
they went after the Tea Party.
They want Hunter Biden. They've already requested it, and the FBI is hemming and hawing around. But once they take the majority, they can hold them in contempt, just like the January 6th committee is doing. Plus, they're going to set up a committee to investigate the January 6th committee itself. Nancy's Pelosi role in this, and where was the police chief of D.C. when all this was going on? So there's a lot of stuff they want to get done. But 2 years is 2 years. 2 years is 2 years, so they got a lot to get done. You're going to hear a lot of different stuff about January 6th once the Republicans take over because they're not telling you. The Democrats are only telling you what they want you to hear and nothing else. See, it always bothers being a centralist. It always bothers me because you're always fighting with one party or the other party to get the truth out. If it's something that's going to make the GOP look bad, they're hiding. If something makes the Democrats look bad, they're hiding it. The Hunter Biden thing and the needs to be brought out in the front, and so does the Hillary Clinton thing because the FBI are doing investigations into Steele and all them that gave the dossier. What they're trying to determine is, did Hillary authorize this? Did she request this and pay for it? If she did, this is an attempt to change an outcome of an election. This is a punishable crime, big time punishable crime.
It's treason. It's punishable by death.
It is. So Biden will not be able to let this slide, or else the Democrats will get slaughtered in 2024. So I don't know. They'll probably, more than likely, what will happen is they'll probably cut a behind the scenes deal or something. But they're going to go after it. The Republicans want it. They're tired of this. They're tired of being beat up by the press all the time. And now, with CNN collapsing and NBC collapsing and ABC and CBS barely hanging on, American World and all them doing well, they have a chance to really get revenge and should take it because the Democrats have just been kicking them in the balls for basically 20 years and they're just taking it. I'm like, what's wrong with you? Stand up for yourself. Don't be scared to say you don't think that transgender guys should play in female sports. That's the right thing to say.
Yeah.
Don't get all hurt because the governor in California said that they could play in female sports. I wonder if he's got any daughters.
Yeah, probably not.
The other day,
you're basically putting a man dressed as a woman into women's games. It's how fair is that? I mean, unless it's a co-ed sport. When
And
they're
of course,
both men and women on both teams.
now we're back to the bathroom comments again.
Right.
Should transgender men be allowed to go in female bathrooms? No,
Absolutely not.
no. I don't care what you say. No,
If you
I don't.
feel
You know, look.
strongly about it,
Let me
they
rephrase
label
it.
you
Let me rephrase
that
that.
you're a
See,
hater.
in the French Quarter, if in the quarter, no, I don't have a problem with they go in female bathroom because it's grown women, and grown women will deal with it. I just don't want them going in the bathroom like at Wendy's or at Denny's or at any nice restaurant, where your little 5-year-old or granddaughter
5-year-old,
may
8-year-old,
be, or
10-year-old
your
girls.
10-year-old, 12-year-old kid might be. I'd be pissed. And a friend of mine says, "Well, you don't care if he goes in the men's room." I said, "No, because I'll just tell my son he's a moron. Don't worry about it." I said, "But I don't want my daughter to have to see that, until she's ready to see it herself."
The bad thing, the whole thing bad about that is okay, all right. So you got a legitimate transgender who actually feels like a woman. He's not going to molest a girl in the ladies' room. But you're opening the door to criminals who are pedophiles who say, "Oh, I'm feeling particularly feminine today. I'm going to use the ladies' room." And while he's in there, he's molesting your mom, your aunt, your sister, your grandchild, your niece. That is absolutely unacceptable to me. Period.
It is, and all I can say is we need to fix it.
Yes.
It's time to say enough of that. Princess Leia. Oh, we're gonna have to give hers away. Hers is pink. I might have to talk to him about that. So let me pull this out for y'all. We'll put this up right here. So we're giving this away here. Okay. Now I'm giving this away to the person, the 25th person who writes into me and tells me who Kylo's Ren name was in the Star Wars series. Not his real name, but his name in the Star Wars series.
Not the actor's name.
Not the actor's name, but his name. I need his first and his last name, who he plays in the movie. I know Kylo Ren is his name, but that's not his real name. You can't win it anyway.
I gave my answer as biggest dickus.
It was yeah, he did give that answer earlier. He did. Legitimately.
He's a Jedi Knight, biggest dickus, man.
Okay, hold on. Let me find. Where the hell did Hold on, I got to find out where we went. Here we are. There we go. No, we don't want invite. Let me see if I can put this up here. Present.
I am biggest dickus. Jedi Knight. Look at my lightsaber. Hold on, that's not my lightsaber.
If you look at his lightsaber, you may go blind.
That biggest dickus scene is one of the funniest scenes in Monty Python ever.
Okay, there y'all go. There is Obi-Wan Kenobi's lightsaber. This retails regular for around $400.
Smoke through that or something?
No, but it might electrocute you.
Like Brittany Griner, would she have trouble dragging that through Russia?
No, man, I hear she's having all kind of problems over there in jail, man.
She's going to a penal colony now.
Yeah.
It's
So does this have the shock on it? Does this have the taser in it?
No, not these. These are just the ones. See that it retails on here $399 is regular $424. So we're giving this away tonight, people. If you're the 25th person who writes into iCarCox9, I told people to write it and I give them the email address. That's so shitty. Anyway,
at iCarCox.net, bottom of the screen.
Number 25. Whoever writes into iCar, they have 25. Get ready to open my email up in just a second. We're going to give this away. We'll ship it to you, or we'll have them ship it to you.
Dickus.
So this is Obi-Wan Kenobi's. This is an actual replica of Obi-Wan Kenobi's lightsaber.
And from what movie is this? From the Return of the Jedi?
Okay, this is. I'm pretty sure these are from the new movies, not from the old movies. Because in the old movies, he had a red lightsaber. I thought.
No, he always had a blue one.
Or he had a green one. No, there's two.
Luke had the green one.
There's two of them, no, but Obi-Wan has two of them. I don't know if it's in the movies or in the TV series.
The original three, he might have had a green one, but the original Obi-Wan, his was a little different than that handle, and he had a blue blade.
Yeah, so I'm not sure which one, but I'm sure it'll tell you when you get it, which one it's from. So they're easy to get.
Kenobi series. Maybe it's from the TV series.
It might be. That's what I'm saying. Maybe. So I'm not sure which one it's from. So anyway, y'all gonna get it. It comes with its sound effects.
Oh, it does. It does make the sound. Like
it makes all the
22 sound effects, Michael. Yeah.
Yes. There you go.
22 sound effects, smooth swing, sound force.
It's all in there, and
that's sweet.
And these are special for y'all. This is the only one of these available, by the way, right now. So. Y'all gonna get this. It's going out to whoever wins it, whoever's number 25 and wins it. The one Kylo Ren's, the one person when that was in Mexico City. It was a female too in Mexico City. She was flipping out. She was like, I want it, I want it, I want it. I'm like, yeah, you want it. Matter of fact, I heard it shipped today. They told me it shipped today, so she's gonna get it in a couple of days. She's hoping she gets it for Halloween. She might. So it should be out there.
Maybe.
Well, they got.
You know,
I think no. I'm sorry. That's not what she said. She wanted it for the day of the dead. And I apologize.
I'm thinking red one of these to scare the hell out of the children of the corn, man. I think they're Amish, you know, so something like this would bug me.
Well, the one we gave away the other night was red. It also had the two side blades.
They were originally Amish. Weren't they originally Amish?
And so y'all know these aren't them little stupid things y'all see, you know, at like Walmart or somewhere like that. These are serious.
I shop at Walmart.
Well, I'm just saying, you know, these are actually look at the length.
Cheap junk.
See there's a handle. You can see how tall that handle is. It's over a foot
aluminum,
tall.
right? Or is it?
Yeah, it's all aircraft aluminum actually, and these are fighter blades on these. These aren't the regular blades, so that you can whack people.
Even the Lucas Force FX lasers swords that came out, they're pretty sturdy too. I've got a couple of them upstairs.
I will kill your ass, man.
You look good like that.
But look, so, man. I know. So, but you can see how tall it is. I'm sitting down. This is about 3.5 feet, almost 4 feet long. So, I mean, it's a serious play toy. You can get out there and really have some fun with it, and really whack some people. I attack my stepdaughter all the time.
I want to hear the sounds, man. Put the sound on.
This one don't have sound effects. This one doesn't, and this will be that will be the last one we give away. Yeah, so that'll be the last one we give away. So anyway. But whoever writes to me, let me open my email up, and whoever gets it will get this one tonight. Well, can y'all see it again? I took it out. There it is again. So I hope you'll love it. And dun, 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 dun. Look, I'm not your father. Yes, I am. No, I'm not. I'm her father, not yours. You came from your mother was screwing around at this time.
Looks like you got some
with Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Maybe blow torch.
Cool, so I mean, but you know, they got other ones for sale, and you can get different colors, different handles, different styles. They sell pretty much every kind you can think of in there. It's you see, they got different people. Where was the one I seen? That's Princess Leia's right here, and this is one I think we're gonna go try to give this one away. So I haven't asked for this one yet, but I think we might do that. But it's nice. I mean, and they got all kind of ones that are not replicas,
not canon.
Yeah, that are just you can use. They're a lot of fun to play with. I mean, the one I got is not. See, this is the one we gave away.
Kylo Ren, yeah,
that's the one we gave away the other night with when I was on Missing Piece. So that's a nice one. I mean, it's a lot of fun. It's actually a little taller than the one next to me.
Those wires on there don't look that reliable, though. I don't know. It's like very
very these right there. I know. I looked at that myself the first time I looked at it.
If you go back and watch the movie, he's got some wires. I mean, it's looking like it was like half-assed as he made it, but it does have those wire things.
$611 for that thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And that
they're not cheap, and there's a lot of people that make those things. So almost all of them, it doesn't matter what color blade you like. You
chop something apart.
Red to purple, blue.
It's a toy, though.
No,
it's a little more than
they're not toys. They're made for serious, play fighting.
They want to go out and whack somebody, and you can get the ones with the tasers connected. But look, it's got the tarnished look to it, like it's been in combat.
Yeah,
and you can get whatever blades you want on them. You can get whatever types of blades.
Well, if you want to be authentic, Star Wars is the used universe, so everything has to look like it's been beaten up and the paint is chipping, and
And see, this is another version of Obi-Wan's lightsaber right here.
Mm-hmm.
So what they've done is they've kind of played with the coloring a little bit, but they're there. And like I said, that's the one we're giving away right there. But we will be giving away other stuff. I mean, we're going to give away Luke Skywalker's. We're going to give away Rey's. Now it looks like we're going to give away Princess Leia's. I want to give away Master
Windu.
Master Windu, thank you, the one with the purple one.
I've got his sword upstairs, actually.
And so, that'll be what we're giving away for the rest of the season. So we've already given away 2 because we're giving away one tonight and one the other night, and then we're giving away
$905 for that one.
Yeah, like I said, they're not cheap, Michael, but they're. I mean,
oh my God.
You go to the Star Trek conventions, the Star Wars conventions, the comic book conventions. There are vendors galore selling these things, and people are buying them up.
Oh wait,
by the dozens.
Okay, and then you see you got
It's
you got
amazing
this
what people
one.
spend money on.
This is
I
also
don't fault people when
Obi-Wan
they spend money.
Kenobi.
Your money's yours. You can spend it on whatever you want, man. But like I was just looking at
Sean Solo. Who the
900.
hell is Sean Solo?
Isn't that Han the
All right.
brother?
Sean.
No.
Where's Sean?
Not sure who the hell Sean Solo is. It says Obi-Wan Kenobi, so we're gonna go with Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Well, you see it right there. It's Sean Solo
Yeah, I
Sables.
see
It
it.
must be the guy who makes them.
Oh, it must be the guy who makes them. Yeah, but they're great. I mean, they're great products. So y'all just keep a lookout, and I see.
I
let's
wanted
see
to be
who
able
won.
to do something for that kind of money, like at least incapacitate somebody.
You can
Electrical
get them. You can
charge,
get them with
stun
tasers in them.
gun.
You can
Really?
get them with tasers. They
You,
got
you can get you
That would
can
tasers
be
get
something.
connected to them.
licensed ones too for pretty cheap, like under $400. And they have lights and sound, and you hit them, they make the clashing sounds. Like I said, I got two of them upstairs. I've got Luke Skywalker's and Mace Windu's. I only got Mace Windu's because purple's my favorite color, so I got that one because of the purple blade.
I like my katanas; they work.
Yeah,
I never have an issue.
I posted 12 of mine online the other day so people could see them. Donna
Yeah,
Mintz won. Where are you from, Donna Mintz? Where are you from, Donna
I think
Mintz?
Brittany
Where are
Griner
you
needs one of
from?
these for that Russian penal
I
colony.
know.
I actually feel bad for her, man. I know I
St.
shouldn't,
Augustine, Florida.
but it's a terrible place to go. And I know that she's going to get treated better than most, but still, she's going to be at risk. But because there's always going to be people there.
Oh yeah, they're gonna gang up on and beat the crap out of it just to prove a point.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
So anyway, Donna Mintz, Mimms from St. Augustine, Florida, just won Obi-Wan Kenobi's lightsaber.
Ooh, Donna!
Your boy, I don't know when it'll ship. When they tell me, I will send you a notice letting you know when it's shipped.
Now, does she have to pay taxes on that, or you just
they ain't
get it
paid
free?
nothing. No, everything's paid for. No, they give
That's
it.
good, man.
You get the prize. That's what you win. Now, while we're talking about that, we're going to give away this book. Stay before I knock things over. This is L. Ron Hubbard's book, Fear. Now, I've talked to a couple of people who's read this book. They said it's scary as all hell. I have not read it, so I do not know. I don't want to
Can't
lie
really
to
see
you.
it. There you go.
So that's
There
the
you
book,
go.
Fear. We also are giving away a audio version of this as well.
Now, isn't that the Scientology guy?
Yeah, he is the Scientology guy. Well, he's the Dianetics guy, really. And he wrote Dianetics, which is what Scientology is based on. And so anyway, they got a lot of good stuff. He's published a lot of good works, and they give away a lot of stuff. I mean, he's also Battlefield Earth and Mission Earth. Those are all books of his as well. And Battlefield Earth's book is so much better than the movie. They really needed to redo Battlefield Earth in like a 3-part movie or something to make it just a better movie all the way around. And find somebody better than John Travolta to play the lead. Even though he wasn't horrible, I just think they could have been a little bit more convincing, might be a better way of saying it.
Well, he's a Scientologist, John Travolta. He's like right in that.
Yeah, John Travolta, he is a Scientologist.
So is
might be why he got the part.
So is that other dude, man, Tom Cruise.
Yeah, they are. They're big time, and there's a lot of other ones out there besides them. Nicole Kidman's part of them. So I mean, there's a lot of them. They say, she left, but then I seen something she wrote just recently. It suggests she didn't leave. So I don't know, but we're gonna give away one of each. To hold on, I gotta write these numbers down so I don't get to emailer number 9 and emailer number 21. Number 9 and number 21. 21, you will be getting the audio book, and number 9, you will be getting the paperback copy. It's going to be iCrackCox.net now, but we have to ask a question.
Uh-oh.
Oh, I got a good one for you. You want me to give it?
No, wait. I'm gonna use this one. I'll let you do one next week when we give it, because we're gonna give away some more next week. Actually, we're giving away every Friday until New Year's. So on this one, I want to know what the first colored sci-fi movie was, and I will give you a hint. Leslie Nielsen played the lead in it.
Star Trek.
Not even close, Michael. Not even close.
Star Trek wasn't even invented yet, man. So it's the first colored movie.
Another hint is, though, that the movie you're talking about, Joe, all the sound effects for it were recycled for Star Trek.
Yeah, a lot of more recycled. And the robot in it played in something later on in a TV series. Was redesigned, but played into a TV series, Robbie the Robot. So if y'all know what movie it is, It's actually a pretty good movie. It's sci-fi.
Doesn't suck.
It's been around. It's been around for a long time. The color was pretty good on it when it was made. The concept of the movie was pretty cool. The movie itself, compared to today's special effects, it's just hilariously funny.
Yeah, and several big time actors in it.
Yeah, they did a lot of big actors in it, and it was fun to watch for what it is. Sorry, excuse me, guys. It's kind of campy, but it was kind of fun to watch too. Anyway, I can't tell y'all until somebody tells me. Okay, so the person who won the book has already got it right. So we just got to wait for the person who's going to get the CD, and then we'll go from there. Yes, Leslie Nielsen starred in it. Yes, he wasn't playing a comedian in this movie.
Airplane.
No, he was a serious actor back then.
He was a serious leading man in this movie. Yes, the movie was a very serious movie. Actually, it had some comedy in it, like most sci-fi should have. All good sci-fi should have some humor in it.
So this is mine.
That's why Airplane was so funny. Airplane was so funny because he was known for being this very serious actor back in the day, like these gripping doctor things, you're dying, that type of thing, Then here he is in Airplane, like a comedy, but trying to play the straight man and be serious. It was hysterical.
As a slapstick
Great
comedian,
movie,
he was hilarious.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got.
He was fantastic, man. A lot of those guys were amazing. Look at Lucille Ball. I mean, she was known for being. She was in a lot of movies. Lucille Ball.
All right, look at that. It's in New Orleans one. So Gawanda Smith from New Orleans won the book. That's cool. Gawanda, I'm glad. Don't think anybody's ever won from New Orleans.
The fix is in, Josie.
I don't know no Gawanda. So it
can't
be a fix. Anyway, number 21 is one too. So the movie we're talking about is called Forbidden Earth. It was the first color sci-fi to be released. For the time, it was state of the art. It was serious sci-fi back in the day. It was even still pretty sci-fi in the 70s. In today's world, it's not serious.
Yeah, but ake it up, Captain.
It's a little on the campy side these days, but it is fun to watch. It's kind of like Big Trouble in Little China. It's kind of fun to watch too sometimes. But they're just weird sci-fi movies. That's all. But anyway, who was 21?
And Madam
Terry. Well, how do you Terry? Corinne is.
Are you guys breaking up?
I know. I'm saying. It might be me. I'm not even breaking up. I'm just stuttering. Corinne. I'm saying his last name. I don't know. But anyway, Terry is from New York, New York.
They're coming after you.
Nice to have a New York win. It's nice to see some U.S. winners tonight because last week when we were giving away stuff, almost everybody was from overseas. So it's nice to see. So Terry, you'll be getting the audio CD of Fear, so you can listen to it. Actually, I don't even know if it's a CD. I think it's a. Well, you know what? I'll look and see. I don't even know. I could be lying to you. It feels like a CD.
What do you guys do for Halloween?
CD? I'm naked. I'm going to be naked for Halloween.
You're going to get naked for Halloween. Jay, what are you doing for Halloween?
It's my costume. That's going to be my costume, being naked.
I am not probably going to dress up, but if I do, I might just put on my Spider-Man shirt.
Jay's going to be naked, too. Don't let him lie. I think we should do next Friday show naked. Yes, it is a CD set. Oh, shit, look at this. This is actually a serious bunch of CDs we got going on here. So let me fix this cute little case. There you go. Let's see. There's actually several CDs in here. That's the little book on it right there. And I think there's 1, 2, 3 CDs in the back. Have some fun. Let me know what you think about it. New York Times best-selling author L. Ron Hubbard. Without fear, I would never have come up with what I do. Philip K. Dick. Oh, that's good.
He's the guy that wrote the inspiration for the Mars Patrol Recall.
The media wants to give you trouble about L. Ron, but when you listen to the writers and the people who do the movies, they love the guy. I mean, he was brilliant. Apparently, a lot of the authors, because I noticed when I'm at Author Services, they got this beautiful office set over there, and they've got all these people who have said stuff about L. Ron or made quotes about L. Ron, even new stuff today. And it's just a lot of big writers that give him credit. There's a lot of big writers and illustrators that come or judges every year. The guy who does Caribbean is there. The author who did Dune was Scott Card is there. This is a bunch of them that are just famous, and it's nice to see him care enough to help people out. But that we're talking about Writers of the Future's guides, writersofthefuture.com. If you want to submit illustration or a book, they have 12 winners a year, so you can submit 4 times a year. They have donated books courtesy of galaxypress.com. So you go over to Galaxy Press. A friend of mine over there, John Goodwin's a friend of mine, and he donates to the network all the time. He's a regular on the network. We give away a lot of stuff. Him and I gave away a lot of stuff just recently on a Saturday show. So we're just giving away stuff. So any predictions for the election? Who's going to be the big time winners?
I don't think anybody ever wins.
Mastriano here in Pennsylvania. I think they're going to win the state.
But it would be nice to
Oz
see
is going to get in there.
It looks like he is. Yeah, it looks like he is.
Earlier they were saying, Joe, you were saying that the news was saying that Oz was attacking Fetterman. It's actually, if you live in the state, it's actually the other way around. All the Fetterman's commercials go after Oz, just saying, "Oh, he's not from Pennsylvania. He moved in here with his mother-in-law just to get into the Senate race." So what?
Well, a lot of people said that. A lot of people said he was gonna fake another stroke and let his wife take over. I was like, what? I said, where'd that come from? You just never know what's going on here. So let's see what we got here. Latest polls on 2020 midterm election, Democrats versus Republicans, October of 2022. This was taken yesterday. The RCP average poll has Republicans at 48 and Democrats at 45. The Insider Advantage has Republicans at 48 and Democrats at 44. Economist U Government has Democrats at 44. Has Democrats at 49 and Republicans at 45.
You notice that DeSantis won't answer the question if he's going to serve the whole 4 years if he gets back in as governor.
Because he can't. Yeah, because he can't. It's not something he can't. So here we go. USA Today. 59% red, 49%, 45% blue. Guys, that's 104% in case y'all didn't realize that. But anyway, we'll let y'all slide on that. No, it's teasing. I'm just teasing. Before somebody starts writing to me. Politico, of course, Politico has the blue winning. What else would Politico have but the blue winning? The Democratic, this is great. The Democratic Corp has red 50, blue 47. I don't know. That's never good when you're on party. Rasmussen has it 47, 43 Republicans. Emerson 46, 41 Republicans. These are pretty decent gaps here. These, when you start seeing 5, 6, 7 points, you're in trouble. What we got here? NBC News. See, NBC only has a 1 point difference. Now, everybody else is anywhere from 4 to 7 points, but NBC only has 1. The only other one was Politico that made the Republicans ahead by 3. I mean, the Democrats ahead by 3.
They're all horrible, man.
I know, but wait, everybody's showing red. Mammoth has them Mammoth has them 50 red, 44 blue. Politico here has them 44, 45 again. CNCBS 48, 46 red. Let's expand this and going down some more.
I'm not feeling the rally from the right. There's a few races where there's like a little bit of heat, but I'm not feeling the overall support and the rally. The bigger people in the
they're
party
saying they're coming out in big numbers,
saying things.
Yeah, but they're saying
I'm just not seeing it. Even Biden, he's treading lightly because nobody wants to be near him. So he's come to New York to help Kathy Hochul. I'll tell you, New York is all messed up, and she has no thrust. Herself, and that comment that she made, that was her deplorable comment. That was her basket of deplorables. That's it. You're saying that I don't care if you're a victim. Imagine being a victim of a crime, and here's the governor saying, "Why is it important to lock people up?" Look at the guy visiting his daughter at college up in Poughkeepsie and gets killed in a hotel by some loser. A guy that was wanted anyway, not wanted. They knew where he was. He was in a criminal case for attempted murder with guns and all that. And here he is with a gun shooting some innocent dude because he's angry over coffee. He was angry over coffee at the hotel.
So now, good. I'm sorry, I didn't cut you off, right? Oh, I was just going to say they're now saying that misinformation is why this guy went crazy and went after Pelosi.
Misinformation.
Yeah, misinformation, BS, and stuff like that, lies on the internet. That's why he did it.
Facebook. It
Yeah,
was Facebook.
I'd say there's more like a couple of wires are crossed in his brain pan up there. That's why he went and did it.
Well, I heard the
He's a big
Democrats.
liberal, and they don't want to admit it. But he's a product of what they've done. This is something that's come back to haunt them, right? And the speaker, third in command of the United States of America, in her very home. Here's a guy with a hammer beating up her husband.
I wonder if this EU commissioner is stupid enough to butt heads with Elon Musk, because he had posted a thing yesterday. EU commissioner warns Musk Twitter must fly by our rules. You know what? I don't think Twitter's gonna fly by. I think Twitter's gonna tell you to take a flying. You know what, dude?
He'll say goodbye. He'll say goodbye. He's like, he'll be like, whatever.
Well, what's he going to do? He's going to keep all of his citizens from logging into Twitter? That's not going to happen. Even if they take them off their servers, they're just going to use U.S. servers to access
The only
them.
thing they could do is give them fines and try to enforce it. And if they can't enforce it,
and they're not, and they're supposed to be free nations, so they can't go around telling you can't. They'll just.
Did you see that Sweden first in the green energy, the one everyone points to as being green? They got a new government. They got rid of the whole division of green, the whole bureau of all this energy stuff, man. They're not relying on green power anymore. They say it's not sustainable, so they're going back to fossil fuels and putting more into technology. That's what you got to do. If you have an ounce of coal, isn't it better to have better technologies where it burns clean, burns longer? It's something that you can rely on.
That's something that Elon said the other day, and a couple other people have followed up. And even Jeff Bezos was talking about this with the space programs. They're like, look, gas cars today can almost have zero emissions. Technically, if you really wanted them to, they could have zero emissions. You could actually have these packs built in the cars where they have to have them changed every so often. Like, how you catch carbon from your waters and stuff in your filters for your water filters. Well, you could do the same thing with the cars. They just don't want to do it. And but
because it costs too much money.
But it really doesn't. There just was no incentive to do it. Gas companies had no incentive to do it. Gas car producers had no incentive to do it because they could do emission controls. And emission controls, like on my car gives out very little pollutants compared to what they did in the 60s, 70s, or 80s, or even what China or Russia or India is doing right now. I mean, our cars are very low on polluting. And there's very high standards in our country for, emission controls. And it can be even better. It can be even tighter. And you don't really, if that's true, then you don't really need electric cars. And right now, they're just not feasible. I mean, any electrical outage, your car just became a paperweight. And what I don't understand is why go with electric when we can go with hydrogen? If we're going to build electric stations, why not build hydrogen stations? Although hydrogen is way better. And what's the byproduct of hydrogen? Water. Clean water.
It's not as easy as that, but it can be done. But I think they should just, look
hydrogen engines have been around for a while. So, I mean, it's not the engine part.
Household appliances. Have they improved on the toaster? Have they improved on the microwave?
No, they've gotten worse.
These are gluttonous appliances. The vacuum to 12 watt. 12 amps for a vacuum, average vacuum. So we waste a lot of electric. We can be having better technology in our homes and also in our vehicles. But it all comes down
all of
to
my electrical stuff is star certified. Thank you very much. I only put star certified, and I actually recommend to only use star certified. You know why? Somebody asked me, "Oh, that's so nice." It's not because I'm nice. I said because they get you. They're very more efficient on electrical. Caution, the electric bills goes down. My old freezers were insane on that. All right, Michael, leave the thing alone. Stop farting into the mic. Shame on you. Oh, here you go. Liz Cheney is targeting geo-election deniers. Liz is dumping her political PAC is dumping tons of money against Republicans. The head of the Republican Party is like, "What are you? You're an idiot." She
sounds like it.
He's like, he wants to talk to her dad and say, "What is wrong with your child? What are you doing? So you don't like Trump? That's no reason to turn on the whole party. I mean, that's just ignorance."
Well, she's a narcissistic psychopath.
That's what it is. She's mad because she lost.
She's scorned, and then she has to get even. That's the way people like that are. They'll kick a corpse just to make themselves feel better, It's
The
an
betting
emotional
odds
wreck.
on the Republicans taking the House are 80%, and on them taking the Senate is 50-50. That's the betting odds. If y'all want to go bet, I don't know where you can bet because it's illegal to bet on elections in the United States, just so y'all know that. Election pollsters face big test in 2022 after recent polling errors.
Let me tell you, man, if New York
Another race,
State can
recent
get
they got caught cheating, so then now it's a polling error.
if New York State can get a Republican governor, that's going to be something. That's going to be something huge. And you know, and we had we had Pataki, Republican governor. We had Giuliani in the city as mayor of New York City. You know, so it's not so far out of the realm. There's a lot of Republicans in New York State. Kathy Hochul told all the Republicans to leave. You know, to millions upon millions of Republicans in New York State to leave. You know, I mean, like who
She's
says that
ignorant.
type of stuff?
But that's the Democratic Party today. They're just full of hate. They're the party of hate. And the media needs to start calling them out as a party of hate. Oh, look, Fox News responds to Nancy Pelosi attack in 40 short seconds. Washington Post. Good. Who cares? If it
You
ain't
know
if
what
it
a
ain't
ball peen
anybody,
hammer can do to someone's skull in 40 seconds?
It can
40
open you
seconds
up
is
a
a
couple
hell
of
of a
hits.
long
Yeah.
time. When you're being attacked, it's a
Oh,
long
wait.
time, 40
hey,
seconds.
American voters are angry, and that is a good thing for voters' turnout, but bad thing for democracy.
You probably
How is
hit
that a
someone
bad
in the
thing for
head 40.
democracy?
How is
Everybody
that
turns
bad
out
for
to vote.
democracy? It actually means we're getting what we want for a change.
Yeah.
You probably hit someone in the head 40 or 50 times in that 40 seconds, maybe more. Depends on
Yeah, but you
Oh.
don't
motivating
need
you.
to. A ball peen hammer
New
can open
York's
the skull in
governor
2 or 3
over
hits.
lead narrows even more over Zeldin. Narrows in New York poll race. Less than 5 points separate them now.
Well, he was having surgery on his skull, man. So the guy gets into a DWI, smashes his Porsche a few months back, and then now he's like attacked with a hammer. He's not having a good year, man. You know what I mean? But people are laughing. They shouldn't laugh. I don't know. I
So
found myself
this
a little like, hey,
this should show to something that we talked about before this. How do you say the last name? Hochul?
Hochul.
Y'all's governor?
We say
Hochul?
Hochul.
So this should say something.
It's probably
So we had
Hockley.
talked about this. We talked about this in Trump because Trump lost, but somehow or another he pulled 45% of New York and still and the largest black and Hispanic vote ever for a Republican, the highest numbers ever, and still lost, which is how it was. It was just crazy to see all of that. So right now, that's the votes between the two of them, 50-45. She's got 50%, he's got 45, but they're saying it's narrowing even more. As it gets closer, they're thinking it's going to be a dead heat at the end. So not just the Republicans in New York are having enough, the Democrats are starting to too. So you've seen that when Trump got 45%. I think if it wouldn't have been COVID, I think Trump would have took New York if COVID wouldn't have been around.
Yeah.
I think he would have carried it.
They
And
weaponized COVID against him.
oh, of course they did. But hey, that's part of the game. Who knew he could stoop any lower? Ted Cruz called the regime. Called for mocking the stroke guy. Yeah, well, just because he had a stroke don't mean you can't mock him. If he's being an ass, he's going to still get mocked. Climate envoy John Kerry weighs departure as Republicans wave looms report. Yeah, you're
It
getting
was hard to
fired.
watch the guy. It was hard to watch the guy communicate. Fetterman. I didn't watch the whole thing. I only saw a clip. It was very difficult to watch.
Oh, let's see.
I don't know.
Let's see what
And
News Nation.
you know what? If
has
I was
to say.
Dr. Oz, if I was Dr. Oz, I would have looked at Fetterman and be like, "Are you okay? You doing all right? You want to put this off for another time? You doing okay? You feeling it?" The worst thing you do to somebody who's not feeling well is looking at me. Are you okay? No, I'm not. Are you all
Well,
right?
I mean, Strucker, no. I mean, if you listen to Fetterman's rhetoric, he's a thug. I mean, he's just look at him. He looks like he just came out of a street gang.
We had a science teacher that had a stroke, man. And he recovered enough to do his job, but he would close his eyes for long periods of time while teaching the class. And when he would do that, people would get up and leave. You know what I mean? It's like it wasn't good. It wasn't good to have him there. So I mean, a stroke victim, the guy could have another stroke. He could have a relapse very easily. They even said that he's in danger for more strokes. They just want the position for the Democrats. It's all they care about. They don't care about him if he gets to whatever. They got. I'm sure they already have someone planned to put in there. But Pennsylvania doesn't need that stuff. It's got enough issues. It needs more power for the people. less power for these Democrats to tell you what your business is.
Yeah, we pay a lot in county and city taxes for the school systems. I mean, it's a lot per
The
year.
Joe Biden highway. I saw that Scranton, man. The Joe Biden highway.
Yeah.
You got to be kidding me. Imagine what they name people. You know, I mean, the Joe Biden highway.
Scranton's a
That's
good way away,
sad,
so I don't have to
dude.
drive on that road.
You know, when I was younger, I used to poke around Pennsylvania. You know, when I was dealing in firearms, when it was like 1990 around there, you know, and I would make treks from Long Island to Ohio, right, to Youngstown, Ohio, there, and then you know that's the whole length of PA. It was such a
Yeah,
beautiful state, rolling hills, just so much nature, and it's awesome, you know. And that route is still fairly okay. But when you go like south and there's a few places that's so industrial, so just heavily overly done, you know. I
Philadelphia's
don't
pretty
know.
industrial. Pittsburgh's pretty industrial. Where I'm at, it's kind of rural. I
I mean,
mean, I'm on the south of the border.
even that Centralia, whatever, where they have that mine fire that's been going on for all these years. You know, they don't know how to put it out. I mean, that's an interesting story in of itself. That whole town, that basically it's on fire. Like nobody lives there basically. You know, because it's on fire under there. But if you go south of there, there's a lot of the fracking. There's a lot of that stuff going on. A lot of mining. You know, but those people need representation, man. And people live there. They don't want you don't want those contaminants to get to you either. You know, there's
No.
cancer clusters that didn't used to exist 30 years ago that do now. You know, so I don't know. It's a mixed bag, but Democrats, you know what? They have such a lousy name with me. I just never see myself voting Democrat ever again. They
Well,
would
it's going
have
to be
to
hard.
be.
Hey,
That's gonna
look, they're talking that the Republicans might take the Senate seat in New Hampshire,
You know, it's
which
a
I didn't think
regime.
they were.
The Democrats. It's a regime. You know. It's not a political party that represents all kinds of people. You know, you got Kanye making anti-Semitic comments. What about Omar? What about Talib? You
Yeah,
know, these
yeah. What
are
about them?
big
That's a problem. What
Democrats.
about them?
Yeah, but
They
Kanye's a
made
little bit more visible than some of those other people. I mean, he's all over the media most of the time.
so they were
I mean,
too making negative comments all the times that they
right,
did it.
but I
They
mean,
didn't just do it once.
he's more visible. I mean, the man takes a poop in a public restaurant and goes all
They
over
are
the internet.
too. The
Yeah, they are
difference
too.
is he
It's
wore a
just
MAGA hat. He wore a MAGA hat. That's the difference. That's why if he was Democrat, they wouldn't go after him. They would be like, oh, whatever. They would just, smother it and let it go. He
Mhm.
lost the lawyer. He had a Johnny Depp lawyer. She dumped
so.
him. He lost Adidas. He lost
One
over
of
$1
one of
billion in a day.
one of NBC's big guys who do their election stuff. He says, "Pundit, I'm terrified midstream for Democrat. I'm really scared it will be a blue bath." He said it's just looking bad all the way around. He said he's just terrified about it midterms for Democrats.
Kanye may end up where MC Hammer ended up, broke and dancing on the corner for quarters.
Yeah, dancing on the corner. Eh?
I don't know, but you know what's messed up? That's what Kanye said, that if you talk bad about Jewish people in Hollywood or the music business, they will shut you down. They will shut you down,
Oh
and
man,
they're doing
now did
exactly
it?
what he said they were going to do.
Now they're suing
He
over
committed
John Kerry's.
suicide. White people matter when you're wearing that stuff. I mean, he committed suicide with that group of people. But then you have, at the same time, you have a load of people that are tired of hearing the word woke. They're done with it. They're fighting back, and it's only these blue areas that are carrying this stuff on. The rest of the places around the way are like, we're not dealing with it. You commit a crime here, you're going to jail. It's not look the other way time.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. And honestly, Kanye, really, we're all Jewish, whether you realize it or not. we all.
You go back far enough, we're all from the
all.
same,
It all came from Abraham, brother.
Right.
It doesn't
Look,
matter. That's what they base everything in. It doesn't matter what people say they are.
the news called Stacey Abrams out, man, because she's been running around screaming voter suppression on blacks, voter for suppression, blacks, black votes up.
When?
15
Where?
is in Georgia. It's up 10% more than it was last year. So they're like, what voter suppression? It's up to 30.
You know what?
Black votes
I know a
30%
lot
of
of
the vote
black
right
people.
now.
You know what they say to me when we talk about racial issues? They say that these politicians make them out to be so stupid that they can't go and vote, that they can't even have an ID, that they've been disenfranchised, where they can't function. That pisses them off because these are people who have jobs, they live lives, they buy houses, they rent apartments, they have kids and whatever, and go to school, function. They're people. But they're like, no, no, no. The black people are they can't do this and they can't do that and whatever. You know what? That's just such a nasty racist thing. And taking criminals who are black and releasing them into black neighborhoods again so they can commit more crimes than those black people and refusing to do anything about it. That's one of the most racist things you can ever even imagine. And they don't care. And it ain't Kathy Hochul's neighborhood that's being shot up, or people selling drugs on the corner and shooting at each other. You know what I mean? It's not her neighborhood, or people on North Shore, Long Island, the nice wealthy areas, right, where a house is $1 million. Well, they don't have the riots there, do they? They don't have people smashing windows on the Miracle Mile in Manhasset, stealing watches and doing all that, do they? So
They don't
you know
have
what?
gangs of black teenagers walking through the streets beating people up either.
You see Chicago, what's going on in Chicago? So now you got these big companies leaving, taking thousands of jobs, white collar jobs. They're going. What's going to happen? What's going to happen? There's no business. No, I mean those white collar jobs is what supports those cities and blue collar. But it's people. You know what? The blue collar feeds off the white collar, right? It's ugly, man.
You really can't have one without the other.
I'm changing my name to Snake Plissken, and I hope when things falls apart, like everything falls apart, I'm not too old to fight. I'm in the zone right now. So if things fall apart, I'm Snake Plissken. I'll go down there. Call me Gecko Plissken, man. I'm Gecko.
You better get yourself some skin tight leather jeans and a sawed off shotgun. You can put on your
Brock better watch talking shit about Herschel. Herschel might knock his ass out.
I'll call myself the Gecko and put on some sandals and some shorts in and walk with that AR-15 right fresh from Florida. I'm the Gecko. They'd be like, "You see that Gecko, man? Don't mess with Mr. Gecko." You got that goddamn right. Let's do it, dude.
So what happened with Barack?
It's gonna be.
He's out there in Georgia talking shit about Herschel Walker. Like, dude, I'd be careful. Herschel Walker liable a bitch slapping.
I predict a major earthquake this week for California, man. I don't know why I'm saying it. I don't know why I'm feeling it. I think there's something going on there. And it's all their own fault. Really, I feel like something's going to happen out there, man. You know what? I think I just feel the energy. And I know people that are empaths that are falling apart right now with tears and all that. I'm like, you got to just block it all out as much as you can and just focus
Halloween scares,
what's important.
Midterm fears worsen as
well, with me, I got to focus on these children of the corn outside, man. These children of the corn, dude.
You got an AR-15.
They're real. They're real. They you can't
but
shoot
anyway,
them.
you or not, we got to get out of here because it's way
right
past our time.
Yeah, we're 27 minutes past.
Yeah, it's way past our time. We got to get out of it. But we gave away everything we wanted to give away. We're gonna get on down the road. The candy corn seems to work
with the children of the corn. They can't figure the candy corn out.
Oh my God! Just.
So here's what you do. Michael. You take all the bullets out of your AR-15, you paint them like candy corns, and you give them back to the community.
No, you know what I do? I sit inside of my house, and if they come around, I let the car alarm go, and it scares them away. That's what I do.
Just ignore these people, audience. They're on crack tonight. We're not even going to worry about any of that stuff. I
got the panic button on my car. Woo, woo, woo. Scares the hell out of them. They run right back in that cornfield. You'll see how fast they run. They just whacked all the cornfields around here.
Oh wait, now before we go,
our field corn. Field corn is for cows and whatever. It's for feed, basically. You could also call it feed corn. So they whacked all the fields. So now the children of the corn are freaked out because there's no more stalks.
They have nowhere to hide.
So they're just running amok. No, they hide in the forest.
So before we go, ladies and gentlemen, pay attention to the DOJ has election plans. They're gonna do all kind of a crazy enforcement on election day. So they're saying since they won't release what they're doing, they're scared it's going to be targeting red states.
You better not vote.
So we'll have to see it.
You better not cry. You better watch out.
Celebration of politician Barack Obama's challenges Herschel Walker's ability for Senate. So let me get this right, Obama. You taking the white guy's side, not the black guy's side. Oh man, that's just because
They're mad at him because two women came out saying that they had abortions. When meanwhile he's all like anti-abortion, but he paid for abortions. But he's two women, so they're calling him out, of course, over the matter. And
so
then so the
Democrat,
Democrats are all about abortion, so they should be happy
yeah,
that the guy had people aborted.
Democrat congressman blames Republicans for attack on Paul Pelosi. Really, dude? I don't know, but that just makes him look like a moron, and anybody who says it just makes him look like a moron.
Yeah, really, it's not. It's not like I
San
said.
Francisco PD
truck,
chief gets emotional after Nancy Pelosi
with a big, Confederate flag on there, and you're getting out, big redneck type of dude. That's one thing with like MAGA hat, MAGA shirt. There you go. Yeehaw!
So Musk says suspensions for minor reasons will be freed from Twitter jail. We might get our pages back. Wow, wouldn't that be nice?
I want restitution for all the days I served, man. I didn't get any food or nothing. They gave me nothing.
Defiant liberals on Twitter taunt evil overlord Elon Musk. Go Elon! Yeah, Elon's got these. You know what? It'd be fun if he lets Twitter on. I mean, Trump on.
You know what I'm predicting? I'm predicting that the monster that these people created is so out of control, and is not ever going to be in control. It's going to grow more out of control the more they feel empowered. Now they're going after the richies. They're going to go after the wealthy people. They've been robbing them in the city, stealing watches worth $200,000. Who knows walking around with a $200,000 watch? All this stuff is happening now, but they're going to start looking at those nice neighborhoods. They're going to start going into those places. I think that this Pelosi thing is just the tip of the iceberg. It really is. It's more about access than intent. I don't think the guy woke up that day, I'm going to go to Pelosi's house and beat people up. Something triggered him at some point, and he's a wacko and a criminal anyway. And these people are running loose. And it just puts the spotlight and the emphasis on the mental illness. Frank Zappa a long time ago said the one thing that the most important thing America is going to face in the future is mental illness, the mental illness crisis. And we're in the crisis where there's really no help, or they throw drugs at people. Now you got the Adderall. They're out of that. We're running out of drugs that control people's depression and control people in general not to go out and hurt others. So there's a lot that's going on. Home heating oil, they're running shortages, and it's diesel fuel, same stuff, running shortages. By Christmas, I think everything's going to come to a head. And
we'll find out. Let me
tell
you what, if there's shortage on Christmas presents, it's just going to be hell. Intel suggests Putin's mobilization 110,000 more troops. He's not going to give the Ukraine up. He wants it.
It's going to be a fight to the end.
He's just not ready to give it up. He's just going into inflation is up, incomes are down, and Biden is clueless.
But have you noticed all along? There's been no encouragement to get the two together to negotiate peace, to get something done. No, not by the Biden administration.
There was some at first, but now at this point, it's neither one are going to come to the table. Period. Neither one.
Even Elon Musk came out and said you have to negotiate. But they won't. They're not going to. I mean, it's a mess. It's a real mess, and it's going to draw. You know what? You have Russian forces firing at English people. You've got intrusion in airspace with drones and other missiles into Poland and things like that flying over their airspace. You have stuff that the wrong thing is going to happen at the wrong time, and that's going to be it. And it's going to be a domino effect. And these guys are so. You have warmongers in the Pentagon, man. Come on, that are ready to roll against Russia. They're ready to freaking roll, which is crazy. But we don't have anybody in charge who can manage that type of power. Biden and Kamala Harris.
Biden's so lost mentally. There's no way he can successfully.
Nancy Pelosi. Listen, if a wielding hammer guy can get into her mansion and beat her husband up, that's pretty heavy duty, man.
Well,
I mean, wow.
All that says is her husband's an idiot. Someone that high profile walks into his house and doesn't lock the door behind him.
It's very weird that they don't have security on the premises walking around and watching the perimeter, or at least the cameras, monitoring things.
Or
very weird.
Living in a fenced in, security fenced neighborhood.
Yeah,
you would think.
The whole thing is weird. I thought initially when I heard that Paul Pelosi had some escort there, man. That's good. That sounds crazy, but that's how you have to think sometimes. Like, why was this guy in the home? And if he
he
just
was the
walked
escort's
in,
driver.
he didn't break in. He just walked in. The guy's out there putting himself out there, naked this, naked that, and here's Paul Pelosi, who is pretty out there. I don't know, man. It's San Francisco. Whatever happens in San Fran stays in San Fran.
Yeah, don't we?
They
Clearly
poop
not,
on the
because we
street.
heard about it.
Yeah.
They poop on the street. They think it's normal. It's perfectly okay with them, with the sea of needles and all the stuff that the debauchery that goes on there.
Twitter's
You know what
already
I mean?
having 100,000 requests to have reinstatements. Lord have mercy. I feel for Elon. But we got to go, guys and girls. We got to get out of here. Mike, tell them where they can find you on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Tuesdays, Thursdays, 8 p.m. Eastern. Discovery Paranormal, everything paranormal. Where we discuss everything paranormal. Tuesdays, 8 p.m. and then Red Pill News Thursdays, 8 p.m. And of course, the Centralist with us here. I was gonna have my buddy Derek come in. He's a DC police officer, and he had the mayor's detail, so he couldn't work tonight, and he couldn't come in. Normally Friday nights his night off. So I think next week, hopefully he'll be here. He's gonna have a really interesting, unique perspective on what's going on.
This is colonoscopy. See, we're ready for you, Mike. You need to get lights here, man. What the hell's wrong with you, dude? We ready.
How do you know I don't have one? You can't see me.
When Putin comes, we're gonna be
maybe
ready.
I'm whipping
baby.
around my lightsaber right now.
We're gonna slice his little people's legs right off their bodies. But anyway, Jay, tell them where they can find you, babe.
Every other 3 Fridays, you can catch me on the Church of Mavis radio show. The archive for tonight's show is just put up on Facebook. Great show about werewolves, our final Halloween show of the year. Yeah, this guy was an awesome show. There was great energy throughout the whole show. You got to check it out. I'll be on the next 2 shows, next Friday and the Friday following. So check it out.
Yeah, I'll be sure to be hanging out. I'm getting out of here, guys. I'm here on Wednesdays.
What happened to Ben, man? Where's Ben? How come
I haven't heard from Ben in a while. I need to give him a call. I haven't heard from him. I don't know what happened to him.
He's got an interesting perspective too. I mean, he's good. He's good.
He was impregnated by aliens and disappeared after that.
So. He can still talk on the radio with
I don't think he want to talk about being impregnated by aliens. I think that's what the problem.
That's pretty common.
But anyway, guys, y'all can find me here on Wednesdays, Fridays, and some Saturdays. So that's where I'm usually at. Here on Wednesdays for the UFO October. Here on Fridays for the Central. Saturdays, I host with our lovely and talented Michelle DeRoche on the Gray Zone Uncensored. So on that note, we're going to get out of here. Be sure to tune in every day. We got something new every day for everybody. And remember, all the way through the first year, we will be giving away books, lightsabers, audio stuff. We're even giving away 2 Seiko watches. One's a diver's watch and one's just a dress watch, but both of them are brand spanking new and being given away. So be sure to tune in for that.
Are these guys doing some kind of smash and grab on like where are you getting these things from? I want to know.
What are you talking about? Okay, the lightsabers are being sponsored. They're sponsored by the guy
who owns
the
receipt,
lightsabers.
Man, if I'm going to win something, I don't want to be part of anything here.
No, the Seiko donated both watches. One it's kind of like the one I'm wearing right now. It's probably about $1,000, and the other one is it's a black with a diamond watch. It's probably about $1,500-$1,800 watch. So.
And it's a good Swiss brand. So.
Yeah, so we're giving them away, so you can get them and have a good time and check them out. They're there for the giving away. So you'll see one's blue and one is gold, and I will show them when we give them. I showed them a couple weeks ago, but I will show them when we give them away. Oh, excuse me. And y'all
got the receipt, no 5-finger discount, nothing like that.
Nope. And then we're also still giving away.
We got
we're giving away another. We're gonna give away. We're at 300 books we've given away so far. We will be giving away at least another 1,200 or 1,500 books through the holiday season.
And we have lobsters and steaks in case out of the truck in the parking lot outside.
Oh, what? And I got the fear. John sent me the fear because it's Halloween. That's why I'm giving away the fears, and we're going to be giving them away all the way through Halloween. There's a case I'm sitting next to me over there.
What are we doing on Halloween? Is anybody on Halloween, man?
We'll probably do a Halloween special more than likely. Usually we do some kind of special.
Monday.
We usually do some kind of special. We tell all the hosts who want to go. We usually start around 7.
Well, who's on Mondays? Anybody on Mondays anymore?
Yeah, everybody's on Mondays. What are you talking about? We've got Writers of the
Future. A couple of them got abducted.
We got Riders of the Future. We've got Laura Lee's show. We've got Horsefly. We got Missing Piece. So
So if people are looking for a Halloween show on Monday, what time would they be looking?
I would say from 7 p.m.
Wow,
on.
someone had too much coffee.
Yeah, 7 p.m. on. But anyway, I'm getting out of here because I'm hungry. But I want to go pig out. Y'all take it easy, guys and girls. Be sure to tune into the network every day and every week. And as John Walton would say, eat it every day.
Hey, have a safe Halloween, everybody.